your Christmas show.
This is the Christmas song, right?
And the blue bit's their bit.
No, the blue bit's just me. I had to copy and paste that. Right? So, and feel free to join in, Paul.
So, join in the chorus.
Because
anything.
we rehearsed this before the show, right? And we got to the chorus and Harper just failed. He couldn't do the verse and the chorus. So I'd have to do the chorus and he's going to join in once he gets his breath back halfway into the second line of the chorus, right? I wasn't planning on singing any of this, but turns out I have to. So you ready to go?
So you pay attention as well.
And plus Harper doesn't know where to come in.
And if I lose it, you just have to sing it. And, you know what I mean? I'll join in when I can.
I'll sit back here because it's a bit loud. Jesus, Ready?
Right.
I make sure I can see these lyrics. You
You'll have to say the first word to bring them in, mate.
I know. Ready? So you all know this song.
Wait.
You got some Dutch courage?
I need to get some scrumpy went before.
Jesus, the drama's killing us all.
I know. Sinatra doesn't have his photos.
Ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You know you never walk alone when you're away and you're at home. You know we'll be with you all over and over the place. We'll travel through the day and night just to see the green and white. Cause when you hear the lights on, you know the famous Cosmic Celtics on the way. Well, I wish I could see Celtic every day. But when the band starts singing and the boys begin to play, oh, I wish I could see Celtic every day. Hail, hail, Media Xmas this Christmas. When the boys take to the park, the sunlight shines right through the dark, and we see the fleet flag flying far over May. And now the grey day comes up here, but they're frozen up with fear, because they know the boys are gonna swiftly blast them out the way. Well, I wish I could see Celtic every day. When the band starts singing and the boys begin to play, well, I wish I could see Celtic every day. Hail, hail, Media Xmas this Christmas. When I Hooper scores, and he just wants like to know, with a great big smile on everyone's face. So if he just stops in one more, then stops gets the apple, and we'll do a walk by Huddle on our way to like the double next day. Well, I wish I could see Celtic every day. When the band starts singing and the boys begin to play, oh, I wish I could see Celtic every day. Hail, hail, Media Xmas this Christmas. Why don't you give your love to Celtic?
We love the HomeBhoys on the show.
We love the HomeBhoys on the show. We love the HomeBhoys on the show. We love the HomeBhoys on the show. Yeah!
That's a winner.
That's live. No, I mean, that's live.
And so the lawsuits will be coming in pretty soon.
Roy Woods up, Tim. Hail, hail, and very, very Merry Christmas, and welcome to the HomeBhoys Christmas special. That was a wee throwback to last year. It said at the end there that was live, but it was recorded live, but that was last year, me, Joe, and our glamorous assistant, Debbie McGee, who's mortified. She's actually left the house. She's away looking for a bottle of Advocate for me at the minute. But anyway, so, as I say, hail, hail, welcome to this Christmas special. My name's Harper. I've got the usual gang on the line. We'll get to him in a minute. But the show's going to be a wee bit different today than usual. We're not taking any callers for the listeners. Instead, we've got a representative, shall we say, from each of the shows on Hail Hail Media, well, most of the shows on Hail Hail Media, going to call in and we'll have a wee chat about the year past, and we've got a wee theme set up, Christmas, past, present or future, where guys will come on and say their happiest Celtic memory for Christmas, the years gone by, or something for this year, or where they expect us to be 10 years down the line, whatever they want. We'll just get a few stories and a few laughs and a bit of crack, and I know the boys are already on the beer and that, so as I say, we're not taking any calls, so don't even bother trying. You send a message in the chat room, whatever, Twitter, we'll try and follow that, but we've got a really busy show. As I say, we've got somebody, just everyone on the podcast, and then we've got Daniel Connor, the Furious Fenian Fussy Daniel Connor, coming on about 3:30, so he's going to fill us in with his injury situation and the rescheduling his big fight in January, so we'll get speaking to Danny then. But I suppose first things first, I'll get to the boys that we've got on the line right now, in no particular order. Joe, you there, man?
I am. I'm sitting here with my Santa hat on and a big warm glass of mulled wine.
You're just a weirdo, right?
Right, let's get right into Christmas spirit. I mean, I'm going to get a crutch and walk like Tiny Tim anytime soon.
Mulled wine is disgusting.
Did you get that off there, mate? He got me into it.
Even he wasn't drinking it the last time. It's rotten. So anyway, as you heard there, Jason, you're there.
I'm here, mate.
Loud and clear. I know you're hitting the drink already. You've got a big night out later, so you better just take it easy, man.
I've not had a drink for 3 days, so I'm due a wee drink, mate.
You had 3 days worth of drink the last time you had a drink, though. That's the thing, though, right? Paul Larkin, you there, buddy?
Season's greetings, one and all.
Happy days, man. And of course, the man we call the Parrot. You there, Stephen?
How you doing, guys? Okay.
Happy days, man. I seen you tweeting away that you're sitting in your Hugh Hefner silk smoking jacket. Is that right?
No, it's a nice fluffy bath hoodie robe. Like, you know, it's all right. I've been pot of mellow buds in my Notre Dame mug. Life's good.
Hey, Harper, did you never come through with that Celtic snuggle? No.
No, it's still in the production. It's called development stage, which means I'm still thinking. So listen, we're just going to go straight into it. We'll get a quick chat about yesterday's game and what you thought of the draw for the last 16. But we don't want to dwell on it too much, just something brief, because we have got a lot of calls to get through. And the first two guys we're going to go on. If the other guys to the shows, we've not really set this up in any order, but I do want to get the Rebel podcast and Pat for the HomeBhoys Down Under on first, because it's like it's after 1 a.m. there for those guys, and they're sitting up to waiting to come on to give us their patter. So,
what's the bets? They're both pitched.
Actually, I don't think they are, because I've spoke to both today, so they didn't come through the background of you, Joe, obviously.
Why are they coming on this show then?
I don't know. Right, so anyway, listen, yesterday's game, who's what? I only seen bits and pieces that my internet was playing up and my feed was crap, but I've seen the goals since. It looked like a decent game, second half, easy enough win. Jason?
Yep, I was delighted with the game. I was sitting next to Liam, Brummy boy, and he was pissed right off because he'd bet his half time, full time. 2 minutes into the second half, we're 2-0 up. But I thought the first half, Big Foster saved us a couple of times. They hit us in the counter attack, and effectively they could maybe have been 2-0 up at the end of the first half. But I thought Celtic's attitude when they came out after the break was it. I thought the attitude in the first half was pretty good as well. I thought Kai Al, to me, was probably our man of the match. I thought he looked excellent. His energy level, and he was just sort of a busy bee about the midfield, and I thought he really played well. So I was delighted with Kai Al, and a couple of things had went our way. We maybe got a goal or two in the first half, but it wasn't to be. Second half, great attitude, great goal by Scott Brown, captain's example, and then it was excellent after that, and it could have been a lot more than 4. So I was very happy, and great to see wee James Forrest getting a run out again, and the young boy Heron making his nice wee Christmas bonus for the laddie, and nice to see Lennon bringing more kids in. James Forrest, I thought he looked really sharp when he came on and was wanting to get involved, and I hope that's him back, and happy days. And it's funny enough, I don't buy the papers, as you know, but I was reading this morning, in one of the Celtic sites, somebody put a link up that Lenny's looking to well, actually I heard him on the radio on the way back. He's looking to potentially strengthen the left back position. Yeah. And that was your man Liam said at the game. We're saying, who do you think we should buy at the transfer window? And I said, well, to be honest with you, I'm not really caring as long as I'm more worried about keeping the team. If we can keep the team as it is, but Liam says he would love cover for Izagiri, because obviously we're putting Adam Matthews down there and things like that if Izagiri's if he's injured, and that's exactly what Lennon came out and said. So Liam must have the hotline into the dugout, because I was sitting with the guy and he said it, he called it during the second half. So good shout for Liam again. But no, absolutely delighted with the performance, and a great win for Celtic. Teams come with this 2 rows of 4 against us, and it is pretty hard for us to break it down. But once we break it down, we should go for the jugular like we did yesterday. And Terry said it on this show a few times, we should be doing that right for the start. And Kyle he'd the energy levels flying, but I thought a few of them were maybe a wee bit lackadaisical. I don't know what it is, but the second half, the application was just exactly what we're looking for, and thoroughly deserved 3 points in that. So that was 5 clear at the top now.
I think a lot of the time it takes us to get that first goal. And once we get that first goal, we seem to get a belief in ourselves. I don't know.
And their shape changes. So see whoever we're playing, obviously they've got a stringent game plan that they need to sort of mark areas or whatever, and they don't move for that, and they hit us in the break. And to be fair, the first half, Ross County, they done it excellent, because they had 2 breakaway chances where Big Foster was outstanding. So no complaints, and I'm very happy. Roll on Boxing Day, Dundee away. Looking forward to that.
Paul, Jason's touched on, mentioned Kyle there a few times. He kind of stuck out yesterday. It'd be brilliant. It'd be like a new signing, I think, to get Kyle back to where he was going into the new year. Because I mean, he has been kind of all sorts. But I think Tynecastle, he came onto a game and he started to show a wee bit recently. He's getting a chance, Ledley and that being injured. So I mean, what did you think yourself of Kyle's performance yesterday, Paul? And how important will he be as a player for us with the amount of games that we're going? Because we're still in 4 competitions going into the new year, so.
No, I thought he was excellent. I mean, it was 28th of December last year he got injured, and he's probably only now started to recover to that. As Jason touched on, his energy levels were fantastic. His G'ing up for the team was fantastic. He was chasing lost causes. He was harrying their defenders, and he is looking like the player that we all already knew he is. Delighted that we're kind of moving through the gears now in the SPL. 4 wins on the spin. I think if he add another 3 onto the aim, we'll be very, very comfortable at the top of the league come January the 2nd. Jason's 100% right. The attitude's much better. The hunger's back. Cooper looked hungry yesterday. We've seen what we were missing with James Forrest, not even in terms of his goal, but he's running, he's getting into wide positions, taking players on. Fantastic. And I really enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoyed the St Mirren game, the last game as well. We seem to be sort of, getting back to our own ways at home again, which is good. And it's a severe warning for the SPL, because I think it was me, Gordon Stratton, touched on a couple of weeks ago that Celtic could have the league wrapped up before we play the last 16, which of course became Juventus. I mean, I firmly agree with that. I think if we win the next 3 games, we'll probably go into the winter break with an 8 or 9 point gap, also with a game in hand, and things are really on the up. And touching on the left back position, I agree. I mean, he's starting to get there now. He's getting his runs and all that. But if we can bring in a wee bit cover for him, I mean, personally, I'd like to see somebody in midfield who could unlock the defences at the top level. Somebody, a poor man's Pirlo, if you like, because that'd be the market we're going in. But overall, I'm absolutely delighted. You mentioned there, Harper, about being in 4 competitions. I can't remember the last time I was as happy as a Celtic supporter. I firmly believe now. I mean, there's certain things that are happening at the club, not just on the park, but small things. I mean, we're quoting the English and the foreign media a lot more than we used to now. And the profile of the club's gone up with things like the Great Ormond Street donation and stuff like that. Having Sky at Lennoxtown for the draw, and even yesterday having Santa's giving out gifts to kids, sweets, toys, things like that. Nice touches for the club, and as I said before, I didn't think I've ever been happier as a Celtic supporter. That's
the kind of stuff we've been talking about for ages. That more involvement with the fans, more connection with the club and the support, and it can only lead to good things. Joe, traditionally, I suppose, I think maybe even certainly in recent years, we've always sort of kind of had a sort of maybe a slow down period around about the November, December, and then we picked up the New Year. But I know we've had some sort of kind of flat performances at home, but as the boys say, we're clear at the top of the league. We're in the last 16 of the Champions League, looking forward to a trip to Turin. So, I mean, what's your own feelings at the minute? Or you pretty happy? You like Paul? As happy as you've been in a long time as a Celtic fan?
I think Paul hit the nail on the head there. Like, I can't disagree with anything he said. It's been fantastic. I was watching the game yesterday. I got a really good feel. I watched the full game, and it was the first time I've looked at this team and thought to myself, "God, they've grown into a really, really, a great Celtic team." Mm-hmm. You know, and it's like there's no strangers out there. I think something Jason mentioned there. Was it last week on Twitter or something like that? There you mentioned about a good team spirit against St Mirren. I didn't see St Mirren, but I kind of got the feeling yesterday while the team were playing, like there is a great team spirit that people like Ambrose can drop in the right back. You know, I thought Kyle was fantastic, but I thought maybe some of his passing. You mentioned like getting the poor man's Perlo there, Paul. Mm-hmm. Someone who could unlock defences. I thought some of Kyle's passing in the first half was a bit slack. I thought Lasad was kind of a bit ahead of him. But yeah, I mean, that's fantastic. I just going into Christmas, going into the New Year. I think the Champions League has galvanised these players as well. You know what I mean? Obviously, they've got to that sort of, you know, that part of the relay race, and now they can take a rest, and they're going to go hell for leather on the SPL, which is just what you want to see. There's no mistakes being made at the minute, which is as a Celtic supporter is weird, I think.
There's Chris McMonigal saying in the chat room, we're the only club in the UK to still be in all the competitions we started in this season, apparently. So.
And that's the thing, though. See the longer that goes on, every week something different happens, and sort of goodwill from the club or for the club, and you know, good results. You start to think to yourself, we could be in the middle of something really special here. I think, and actually, I don't want to start, you know, saying, "Oh, this is the best thing that's ever happened," because better things have happened, bigger things have happened. But it does feel like we're in the middle of something really, really, really unique that may never happen again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree, Joe, and I've been saying it for a while that this team could be on the verge of something extraordinary. But Paul touched on about some goodwill for the club and things like that. I'll bring up some things later on, but I think we've been pushing for the club to do more, and I think you've got to take your hat off to them for certain aspects relating to the last two games, like the St Mirren and Ross County game. All season ticket holders get 2-3 tickets for the games if they wanted. You know, and they could bring MD along with, and that's the kind of things we were talking about at the start of the season. You know, to fill these empty seats, so that's excellent. You know, there's other things that's happening, and as you say, Santa handed out presents. I didn't see that yesterday, but you know, if things like that going on, that's exactly what the club should be doing. You know, we spoke about the American tour earlier on, or the game in Philadelphia with no merchandise available. But for every negative that we give them, we've got to speak in the positives. And some of the things coming out of Celtic Park at the minute are, you know, we've got to take our hat off to them. You know, and the Kano Foundation, that was a couple of wee girls, I know their uncle, they done the draw yesterday, and one of them was the 1,000th kid that came through the turnstiles at Celtic Park on behalf of the Kano Foundation. So that was another milestone, and they let them do the Paradise Windfall yesterday. So hats off to the Kano Foundation, the great work that they do as well. So I think as a support and a club, you can't get better at the minute. You know, with a lot of drama queens and a lot of our forums 4 or 5 weeks ago demanding better. You know, we demand better because we pay this 500 quid and things like that. Look, he's peace. You know, what I don't know what more Celtic could be doing at present. You know, they channeled every bit of energy into the Champions League, and they got us there, and now they're fighting in the league, and we're well in front. Happy days.
Oh, it's all going in the right direction. I just want to bring the parrot in then, because that's us 20 minutes in. That says the two boys are hanging on in Australia there at 1:20 in the morning. So I just want to get a quick talk to Stephen, and then we'll get Pre and Pat on, and we'll start getting the ball rolling with the calls, because I said we've got loads of people lined up. We've got Graham Beyond the Waves, we've got Chris for the Lost Boys, we've got Scott for the Temporary Stand, we've got Richard for TikTok. I've got a message KK sent us. We'll have Josh up, so we've got loads of callers to get through, right? So Stephen, just I suppose, and the boys have kind of touched on yesterday's game. But I suppose coming to you, we're talking about still being in these competitions, last 16 of the Champions League. What did you think of the draw? Happy with Juventus? See us getting through that tie? Do you fancy a trip to Turin yourself? What's going on, man?
I'd probably have to get a crisis on if I went to Italy. Paul and Churchill would get well updated before.
Stephen, can Hope Paul not getting sorted now.
Oh, yeah, after he's banged up, he broke his hand after the Moscow game. He's not talking to me, but that's a story for off air. But no, the draw was. I said to Paul in the show on Friday. I think Juventus are maybe the same model as we are. You know that a lot of the players are bringing in now are Bosman players, etc. The boy Pogba for Man United. No, I mean I'm more than happy with the draw. It's just like for me now, we've done all the hard work, and as long as we keep on the three domestic things, the Champions League now is just about enjoying ourselves now, because we're just as you guys are saying, for me personally as a Celtic fan, I've never seen the Celtic squad so strong. To be able to fly back by Peter Lawwell's private jet, the Sheriff for Sweden, and we even had the Sheriff in the stands yesterday. That's the wealth of talent we've got. But just to give you a wee link to bring in the Australian boys, I was at the game yesterday, and I sit beside two old guys from Dundee, Davey and Derek, and they come down in the Club 67 bus, and there was a first time visitor to Celtic Park yesterday, a gentleman called Aaron Cam from Perth in Australia, and Aaron's quite severely disabled. He's not got any legs or anything like that, so it was nice that we got a nice win for somebody's first time at Parkhead, so that sort of put me in the Christmas spirit, knowing that a guy like was over all the way for Australia and enjoying the game.
Happy days, it's a great wee story, man.
Brilliant.
So, as I said, we've now been joined by Pat Close, he of HomeBhoys Down Under fame, the new show that's taking the airways by storm all over the continent. Pat, you there, man?
I'm indeed. Evening, boys.
And you're saying in the chat room you're sober as a judge. 20 past 1 in the morning. What's going on?
It's the build up to Christmas, boys. Things to do, people to see, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm not a big drinker in any case, but
no mulled wine.
Sat down my cold one tonight, so
no mulled wine, no.
no.
Speaking of mulled wine, I'm gonna get another glass.
Oh, God.
I don't think mulled wine maybe goes with the 40-degree heat you're probably getting there the new part.
It was horrible today, I've got to say. Yeah, it's I know people, even my mates, they all sort of mess me from back home. It's no good. It's like having a really crap day back in Scotland. It's just the other side of the scale. It's just you can't do it, and it's too hot. Took the boys out of spawning and stuff. Oh, it's just a nightmare. So
you must
so
be used to part of all the sunbeds and airdrie you left behind. You wouldn't have that it's all hot clothes.
All the orange skin, it's lovely.
Has Santa still got a big beard in Australia? You know, he must be roasting.
No, when he gets moustaches. Nah, no way.
Oh, right.
He'd have the porno, absolutely. Nah, it's all good. It's happy days over here as well. So, yeah, looking forward to Christmas. Just glad to get a break, in truth. Be a nightmare at work, so yeah, glad to be here. You must have been drafting in the subs. You must be desperate for numbers, guys.
No, we've got a full battalion coming on, like, but I just you slipped my mind, like, so I'll have to get part on, like, because you're now a regular. You're part of the network. Do you know what I mean? So the theme we were playing a bit with, and whether this will work or no, I don't know. We'll have a bash to it anyway. Was Christmas past, present, or future? So if you got a wee story, anything part that you want to pull out, a wee story for us to talk about for Christmas past or whatever, anything, I don't know.
Well, there was a couple that, I mean, not so much around Christmas, it was more just around games, around that sort of period, and I guess the two that kind of came to my mind was, and not that I looked much into this first one, but I don't know if any of you guys recall, same sort of vintage as me, but we played Notts Forest in UEFA Cup. That was sort of early, sort of mid-December-ish. I remember that one, and it was like the biggest. Cause I'd only recently started going to Celtic games at that stage, and it was the biggest game I can. Oh, the absolute buzz around the place was amazing. I remember being at school and just couldn't wait to get out of school, and just the buzz around Parkhead. And I checked the thing on Celtic Wiki tonight, and apparently it was the first sellout at Parkhead for European games since we played Real Madrid way back then. So it was just an absolute buzz, But the one that kind of really does kind of spring to mind was, and again, it's not quite Christmas, but in the same sort of period as the centenary season we played Rangers at Parkhead. If there's any sort of younger Celtic fans that haven't sort of went back and had a look at this, but this was just one of the best games I've ever been in. It was 2nd of January 1988. We played the Huns at Parkhead, and we beat them 2-0. McAvenny scored a couple of goals, but the ones that spring to mind is, and if you ever see these in a lot of Celtic sort of highlight shows and DVDs and stuff, but the Paul McStay pass to Chris Morris to set up McAvenny is to this day the best pass I've ever seen from any game of football. And to be there to actually witness it was just absolutely golden. Being in the jungle as well. I distinctly remember being in the jungle for it. So
it wasn't just the pass part, it was the way Paul McStay turned as well. You'll never forget the way he turned that whole midfield.
The classy turn with the thumbs out.
And as you say, the slide rule pass.
That's right. He kind of got into midfield and he got a bit bogged down. I think it was Wilkins was probably around that sort of era.
Souness, Wilkins and Francis, it was he beat Trevor Francis, Ray Wilkins and Graham Souness were the three players he turned away to.
Yeah, that's right. Basically, and he turned and he basically split everything, split midfield and the defence. Again, for any younger Celtic fans listening to this, you should just get on to I'm sure it was second. Actually, I'm not sure it's 2nd January. Believe it or not, I went and found my old ticket stub, and I've got my ticket stub right in front of me at the moment. Believe it or not, it was the Fine Fair Premier League way back then. I can't even remember it being Fine Fair Premier League, but anyway, it was, and it cost me £3 for my ticket. So in 1988, 2 p.m. kick off on the 2nd of January. But just a brilliant game. But the game. The game got even better. The goal was spectacular, but I guess cash in mind backs guys, and again the same sort of age, but Chris Woods went off injured, and our good friend Graham Roberts went in goal for it. And for anybody who can't remember, I can't remember the result of the game before, but we played him at Ibrox the prior game, and he was sort of direct. Just singing hello, hello, we are the Billy Boys.
I was 2 each that game. We were 2-0 up. They brought it back to 2 each. Durant, it was
a couple of sending off, if I remember right. Is that the
it was a cross in. Richard Goff scored. Durant went down the wing at the end, crossed it in. It hung in for ages, and then I think Goff done the bullet header right in front of Broomland Road for them to draw 2 each. I think we were 2-0 up at half time.
So it was Butcher. Is that when Butcher scored the own goal?
Yes.
I can't remember.
One of the many.
When Peter Grant slid into the Broomlin and blessed himself, man, I had that poster. They actually put that in the shoot. I couldn't believe it at the time. The poster was Peter Grant sliding in his knees and blessed himself. I had that in my bedroom.
We beat them 2-1 that game, wasn't it? That was the Andy Walker. Was that the Andy Walker chest?
No, Peter Grant blessed himself with Butcher's OG.
Was it a 2-0? Was it? Sorry. What was the first goal in the Andy Walker, the chest one that he put in for the winner?
Paul McStay.
Paul McStay, so it was. Aye, you're right, sorry.
That was the year that Frank McAvenny coined it as they couldn't even beat us in court that year.
Aye, I was in the West enclosure for both the games. Sorry, Pat.
No, I just thought it was like sort of goals.
The January 2nd game, Pat, was the day, of course, our song was born. Happy Birthday Celtic.
That's right. That was one of the other things that kind of stuck in mind. But
Big Woods got injured that day. Roberts actually conceded a goal before he even touched the ball in goals, because it was for the corner that crossed it in. McAvenny bullied the header in, and the famous image was Roberts just sitting, fucking disconsolate.
That's right, aye.
The image of him sitting on his arse was the best. It was one of the things that just stick to you forever. Like.
Well, I've got to say, I don't know if it was that day, but it was probably around that era that the ha-ha kind of that sort of rendition sort of started as well. It might even have been that game, I don't know, but because that what's his name, Graham Roberts, he took absolute pelters for that game. But so I went through again. I was a late draft for the show tonight, so I went and sort of checked on Celtic Wiki just the team that we had. Now, on a couple of weeks ago, we spoke about defensive partnerships on the Down Under podcast, and we were talking, Ambrose and these sort of guys. Well, how about this for a partnership in the centre of Celtic's defence that day? Lex Bailey and Derek White.
Lex Bailey? Didn't Channel 4 make a documentary on Lex Bailey?
Huh?
What? They did. Channel 4 did like a careers documentary on Lex Bailey because he became a cop.
I became a cop, aye.
Aye, they had a thing with following him around. His dad was Billy. Channel 4 did a documentary on him.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, his father played. Did his father play for?
Oh, his father was Doug Billy.
He ended up writing. He was played for Rangers and he ended up writing for the Sunday Post for years.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. So yeah, it's because I remember at the time when he was playing for us, it was his father, ex Rangers player, an ex Rangers player's son playing for Celtic. So yeah, I remember back then. But and Alan McKnight in goal as well. So yeah, happy days back then. So but a cracking team though. I mean, cracking team. So you look through Aiken, McStay, Stark, average Joe Miller, Frank McAvenny, Andy Walker. So yeah, it's a good team, good day. It was sticks in my mind, but I'm glad I still got the ticket stuff actually.
That's the team. That's my Celtic team. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the season when I first started going to watch Celtic. I went to every game that season apart from the games at Ibrox. I wasn't allowed to go. And that is my Celtic team. Probably that Happy Birthday Dear Celtic is one of my favourite Celtic books because it just brings that whole season's memories coming back. Like,
it was.
Pat, just sorry cutting you there, man. We've just finally been joined by Pre, who we were hoping to go on at the same time. Pre, you there, man?
Hail, boys, how you doing?
I thought you'd passed out on the couch, man. I was trying to add you there a few times. I thought he was out there in the balcony, freedom with a bottle of Buckfast. Frank's telling him stories with his smooth voice, and he's fell asleep.
No, I am still awake, just.
I don't know. So Pre, I don't know if you were listening there to Pat. He was talking about one of his favourite memories back in the day. Watching Celtic was the Old Firm game in New Year when we beat the Huns 2-0. McAvenny scored the 2 goals. So Pre, we thought we'd get you on as well. Come on and represent the Rebel podcast, as we say, for the bank. I'm a wee bit disappointed Frank's not there, to be honest with you.
Look, I don't think Frank's been awake past 9:30 since 1988. I reckon.
Right, man.
He's an early hour, that one.
Right, cool, man, cool. So listen, Christmas past, present, or future, fill us in, man.
Well, I was listening to what Pat was saying, so this is probably a good segue because my suggestion or my past Celtic game that there's a great memory for me around the Christmas period is actually 10 years on from the one that Pat was talking about. And when we beat the Huns on the 2nd of January in 1998, where 2 goals by Craig Burley and Paul Lambert in the second half gave Celtic their first win on a New Year's Day game against the other mob for 10 years. I just at that point in time in Australia, the games had started to be shown live on cable TV, and I sat down with my brother Frank, and we watched that game in the wee hours of the morning, and it was a fantastic occasion. And particularly the background for it for me from a personal perspective was I was 23 years of age. I was at university. All my teenage years I'd spent following Celtic. It was completely dominated by Rangers, and so I used to really get nervous before games against the Huns because you just didn't think that anything was ever going to go right for us. But after that game, you got a sense that there was a crack of sunlight that was going to happen for Celtic's prospects in the league finally. And obviously, it turned out to be a fairly nervy season anyway because it went down to the final game of the season, but. It was a great game. It was I mean, obviously I wasn't there, but I was watching the tally, and it was really dark and wet and windy, and that's probably it always is at that time of year. And Rico Anoni had a great game to put Lambert in his back pocket. It was the game that Gascoigne actually got done for gesturing, making the flute gesture when the Celtic fans were singing that he beats his wife to the tune of that England Euro '96 theme song thing. That was that's probably my most favourite Christmas memory of watching the Celtic.
Can I ask you then, and obviously these New Year games were big things back then, and I know they shifted it, they moved it away from New Year's Day, and then they moved it to Boxing Day, and then I think it was the 27th or the 28th last year. Are we going to miss that game over the holidays, or is it just part of the fact that they've gone and we're happy they're gone? But I know we're happy they're gone, but I mean, is there a wee bit of you that's going to miss that game?
No.
I think from... sorry, Free,
that was just me
he's following the mulled wine, man. He's just going to be a mulled nuisance for the next hour. Sorry.
I think from a sporting perspective, you are going to miss them because it is, the great thing about sport is competition and rivalry, and I don't think you're going to beat any. I don't think there's a better example of competition and rivalry in the game of football than a Celtic Rangers derby match. And we miss those because it's intense, it's that passion, it's the white heat, and you're nervous. And when you win, it's the best feeling you can have, and it lasts for at least until the next game. But I think if you look at it in a broader context of what that football club represents and their supporters, and I think I would trade off that sporting passion to have a society in Scotland and a league rid of the way that they've behaved for the past 10 years. I think that's probably a good thing.
Anybody else want to chime in on that?
I'll answer no. We don't miss them.
I'll say no. I mean, I like living in Glasgow, no worrying about police sirens going off all the time. To me, it was just an unnecessary evil. They're away now. I was in the Gallagate after the game last night. The place was bouncing after playing Ross County. Everybody singing Christmas songs. There's too many people from journalists, etc., hyped up what that game was. I mean, apart from the 6-2 game and a few other spankings we gave them, it was just, you spent your day before it in nappies. If we get beat the day after it in nappies, good riddance. Leave the zombies to where they are.
See what I'll miss about it. There used to be something good about waking up somebody's living room floor on New Year's Day, 7 o'clock in the morning, and said, "Shit, I've got to get the bus 2 hours." Yeah. Right? And we used to wait a minute. We used to go to but Joel will know about this place. That Jason and Paul Stephen will certainly. We used to go to Kilsyth Club for every time the New Year's game sort of thing. And the crack, you almost didn't want to go to the game because the crack in Kilsyth's Celtic Supporters Club was absolutely brilliant, man. The place would be absolutely hot for first thing in the morning, and then the game sort of got on the road, and then you went back to that club after it. So I kind of miss that sort of the stuff that surrounds it and the buzz everybody's on. I'd miss that side of it, but I think you hit the nail on the head. I didn't miss it that much that it would be worth bringing them back, if you know what I mean, for everything that they represent. Aye.
Yeah, I mean, look, even in Australia, it's a good night out when you go to the pub and catch up with all your mates from the supporters clubs and stuff, and because the games are normally on. Like if it's an early kick-off in Scotland and it's the middle of the season, so that means it's going to be like a 11 o'clock or midnight kick-off, and you've already had a couple of beers anyway, so you're up for it, and it's a good sing-song and stuff and a good laugh, and obviously if you win, then you're loving it, but you can take or leave it. There's plenty of other occasions where we can get on the piss and watch the Celtics. So.
Well, see, I was going to say the same thing. That outside of Scotland, you got to factor that in for all the supporters clubs all over the world, because it impacts, and what's happened has impacted just about every supporters club that there is in from North America to Australia. Because our club, for example, we would have met, because of the popularity of Celtic matches and Setanta TV over here. You get not all the games, but most of the games. You get that sort of element where people just disappear because they can watch it at home. Why would they drive for an hour to go to a pub to watch it with a couple of guys, and then it kind of turned around to be just really the big games with the derby matches, where the pub would just be packed out. You get 250, 300 people there sometimes, just absolutely packed out. But then you take that away, that whole social aspect of the club just is gone overnight. Mm-hmm. So I'm probably speaking out of turn for most supporters clubs in Australia, but I think all of them are feeling the pinch a little bit. Sorry.
No, Pat, I was just seeing Scotland as well. I mean, I know a few guys that own pubs, and a few of the pubs are Celtic pubs, and they're actually telling you that, see, over the course of a season, you're talking about profit margins for some of the busier ones. They're down on average. He says a conservative estimate would be $6,000 a game. So you're talking about for profit margins for normal pubs in Scotland, where it would be a Celtic pub, and obviously it's the same on the other side of the city as well. But you're looking at over the course of a season, minimum, you're $24,000 down.
Yeah, and the pub where we go, that I believe that they were talking about getting rid of Setanta as it stands at the moment because they're just not getting the numbers through. The lucky thing for them is they've got a backpackers upstairs. There's a lot of Irish guys come through. So on the same Setanta channel, you get the GA stuff. That's sort of the hurling and that sort of thing. So they do all those sort of other sort of Irish sports that they get sort of punters in for. But yeah, like people will be feeling the pinch all over the world. And again, I'm probably speaking out of turn for everyone. But
no, Pat, it's a really good point. I think because I don't think a lot of people sort of. I would never have thought of that really. I mean, and I have heard people like Jerry on the Lost Boys say before, the Celtic Rangers games, and I've been to a Celtic Rangers game in New York, and obviously so have you, Joe and Paul, and these kind of games, days can pay for a club season. Yeah. So and I suppose you didn't really think about that side of it for fans the other side of the world. These days when the places are packed out and they've got a cover charge at the door, probably pays for the days when there's only a handful of people sitting around the table. Paul?
Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, it's something that definitely the clubs in America are feeling, because, as you say, certainly with the kickoff times we get at Celtic, and you can take these early kickoffs on a Sunday, for example, it's very hard to get people into a pub at 7 o'clock in the morning, to watch a Celtic game, no matter how fanatical a fan they are, particularly when in America now you can see it in your own house. And so when you would get a Celtic Rangers game, the whole community would come out, certainly in the Bronx, and certainly in the Parlour, Jack Dempsey's, the whole community would come out and watch that, and as you say, the money they paid that day would cover you for about 3 or 4 months when you were playing Ross County at home and 5 people turned up.
No, that's a good point. So listen, Pat, I know you're sitting up and you're sat up, but we've got so many people to get through. Just as any final words you want to add, and then because I have to keep because there's so many people on Skype, I'll have to keep knocking the callers off to bring other guys on. So I'm absolutely delighted that you sat up and called in, and you're a credit to the Celtic family, the stuff that you are doing out in Australia. Obviously, Callum as well, and Frank with it. Frank's just got the smoothest voice in the world, man. See, if the apocalypse had happened last week, I'd have wanted Frank to tell me about it, and I just sat back and relaxed, man. So boys, anything else you'd like to add just before I kick you off?
Just on behalf of Callum and Frank and myself from the Rebel Podcast, I just want to thank all you guys for your support through the Hail Hail Media network. It's a pleasure for us just to even do the show, but it was the support that we get from you guys, we really do appreciate, and we wish you all the best of a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and maybe we'll all catch up in London when we're in the final in Wembley.
Happy. That sounds good to me, man. Pri, I have to say, and I hate doing stuff like this, but I've heard it for so many people that the Rebel Podcast is people's favourites on the channel. So, man, it's testament to the stuff you're doing there, man. It's great crack. It's always great crack. Cheers,
I would sort of back that up. There's guys I work with, Tony and stuff like that, and out of all the podcasts and the Hail Hail Media, yours is the one they all listen to. So, well done, Pri, mate. No, you're doing a great job, mate. Absolutely fantastic. Keep it going.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, Pri. Pat?
Yeah, I'm just, again, thanks, guys. I guess I brought you into the podcast and stuff a bit late. I feel like the poor cousins sometimes down here, sometimes, but I just want to thank everybody, and again, it's right across the board from the Lost Boys to 90 Minute Cynic, and I listen to all of them. I think I get an absolute buzz from it, so makes my life a hell of a lot easier. But I guess I'll sign off with one thing, and I promised my wife I was going to say this. She said, "You must say this the very last words." I say, "A Merry Christmas and a Hunfree New Year."
Well done, man. Well done.
God bless, man. Have a great Christmas.
Thank you very much, guys.
Cheers, man.
God bless.
Cheers, man. Hail, hail. So that was good. Good wee start to the show there. The two boys in Australia. Do you think, boys?
Yep. It's great. It's great to hear what they're thinking about the new year. And I can listen to guys about their Celtic memories all night. I'm just can't wait till the next one comes on. It's excellent.
Just talk amongst yourselves then while I add two in.
So what about ours? Have we got our memories?
Well, in fact, that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. We'll do one of us each in between getting two guys on. How does that work?
That's fine.
Perfect. So carry on, Jason.
Me? Mine is I've got.
I hope you've got this written down, so you've got the detail, because people are going to pounce on you, man.
So we're all right.
You're going to come out with something that happened at Easter or something, aren't you? Sorry, man.
You've got dozens of the New Year's Day games against the Rotten Mob, where we beat them and whatever, and you could rhyme them off, and they're brilliant. But see the games, you were that nervous before it, and I would take guys up to Liverpool for them, and you're planning big nights out, and it would just get ruined because you get beaten. Everybody was standing about greeting in pubs and stuff like that. So, and then when you get a bit older, some of the best nights you have it are after you get beaten. Obviously, when they were going through their 9 in a row and stuff like that, it was we just sort of accepted it, so we just made the best of whatever. But the one that resonates to me, and it's been spoke about in quite a few of the forums, because I don't go to many away games now, so I'm going up to Dundee on Boxing Day. Me and my good mate Jim are going up in the Lisbon Lion Gals bus for George Square. So we've got a full day at Boxing Day, so I'm really looking forward to it. And it takes me back to 1998 when they were going for their 10 in a row. And I think it was the 27th of December. We played Dundee at Dens Park, and it was freezing, absolutely Baltic. And put it this way, there was quite a few inebriated Celtic fans in the stadium that night, to say the least. And there was a few guys had smuggled in a bit of swally, so it was party time, and we sung Cheerio to 10 in a row. People are saying we sung it for an hour, but I think it was more like, I think we sung it for about half an hour. But my lasting memory was we were singing it before half time came. I think we were 2-0 up at half time, and we were singing it before half time, and we were still singing it when the teams ran out for the second half. It was brilliant. Happy days, and every day was freezing. We were in the end behind the goal where the Dundee fans get now. It was all benches at the time. They used to get it years ago. We used to get uncovered terracing, and then they put us in there. I think when the other stand was getting built. But no, in fact, that was an uncovered terrace. I think with both ends behind the goals, and they had the old shed bit. We were in there. It was absolutely freezing, but there was quite a fair bit of Buckfast wine getting passed about to keep the boys warm. That's memory for you, and I'm really looking forward to Boxing Day to relive some of those memories. Not what I would advocate smuggling drink into the game, which I'll have no part of.
Of course not. just get St Sixtus to smuggle it in for you.
I don't think it take too much persuasion for that, Bob.
Listen, we've actually just, even though we says we weren't taking any calls for listeners, we've got one caller who Jason, Joe has probably set this up. I think Joe's went off, is he? Well, Joe, you still there?
I'm still here.
We've actually been joined by Fresh Meat.
Oh my God, it's my new hero, Dermot.
I'm only realising now how awful that sounds, Fresh Meat. I think I made a misstep with that one.
Welcome to the show, man. Have you been listening in? I don't know if you really have a clue what's going on with this nonsense, or if you've been around Joe enough and his mulled wine tales around the fire to know what's going on here at all. Like,
well, there's two questions there. I'm well used to Joe and alcohol. They're one and the same. No, I have been listening in over the past little while. Very intimidated by the amount of facts and everything being thrown around.
See, that's what will interest there with facts and figures and all that stuff. He'll be a confident stato in a year's time.
Can I make a wee observation about your show the other day?
Yes, go ahead.
Thoroughly enjoyed it, right? Really good, but what was it with the patter about the offside rule? No, this isn't aimed at Dermot, this is aimed at you. The fucking offside rule is a rule. There's got to be a defender between you and the goalie when you pass the ball forward. Somebody's got to have a defender behind them, that's it.
Aye.
You know, there isn't any Dubai here,
there's no open to interpretation.
There's no, like, you were trying to say to Dermot, but people have got this thinking and that. No. Simple fact is there must be a defender between the last attacker and the goalkeeper when the ball leaves the other attacker's feet.
And then there was that whole thing about clear daylight, wasn't there, between players and stuff?
There's a whole thing about Dermot. The only thing the caveat to that is though all the linesmen are Huns, so they don't really abide by the rule.
Aye, they don't apply the rules, Dermot. But the rules are there to be applied.
So the question is, Dermot, have you done your homework for this week?
I have done my homework for this week.
Okay, so we go ahead and just give you a chance to prove yourself.
Okay, well, I mean, the question was who was the top goal scorer for Celtic?
Yeah.
Yes.
And if what I've read is correct, I believe you're referring to the mermaid. Jimmy McGrory.
Yay!
The mermaid?
Am I correct?
You are totally correct, yes.
Wait, the mermaid?
Apparently that was one of the nicknames he was given because of he was such a proficient with heading the ball.
I've never
That
heard
was like
that.
his thing.
Mr. Larkin, can you back this up?
He's right.
Is he? Oh, well,
Can I back this up? Let's see.
His main nickname was a human torpedo, but he was referred to the mermaid for a while.
Jesus, he's only been a Celtic fan 11 days, Jason. He's teaching us stuff.
Brilliant, Dermot. Absolutely fantastic, mate.
And what have you learned about... Well, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, I even found this pretty cool little kind of rundown of all their top goal scorers, and it's got the photos and everything beside them, you know, so it goes from kind of Jimmy McCrory at the top all the way down through, and you've got I'm just going to randomly pick someone here. Bobby Lennox there, and who else?
Well, that's not random, to be honest with you.
But it gives the number of goals beside it, and apparently he's got two figures because there's the amount he scored for Celtic, and there's the amount he scored in other leagues as well.
Good afternoon.
Is 410.
So you haven't done your homework. I don't know.
Who just said good afternoon there?
This could all be wrong. I'm very wary of information on the internet. It's.
Yeah, the thing is, you're good at finding information on the internet. You work in IT. Your job is to find stuff on the internet. Well, it's not really. Your job's more complicated than that. But
I spend my time finding things on the internet instead.
Exactly.
So your homework only concerns Celtic?
His homework only concerns Celtic.
Yeah, because guys like Kenny Dalglish, once he leaves Celtic, he's then dead to us. It doesn't matter. so just as long as you get the Celtic part right there, mate, you're okay, mate.
As soon as I said Kenny Dalglish, because it was on the list, I'm going to regret this,
No, he's a Celtic legend. Don't worry about that.
Dermot, how excited about this journey that you're embarking on? I mean, you're like a wee Celtic hobbit. You know what I mean? Searching for the precious.
That's not the first time I've been described as a hobbit. Funnily enough, I've also been described as Gollum, but that was particularly unkind. I thought,
Oh, no, that's a wee bit unfair. Like, I mean, you're often.
Fairly excited because it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun last week with Joe on the show, and I was delighted with myself that I was able to get some facts out in for this week as well. Because I was like, maybe this is a trick question, or maybe this is harder information to come by than I realised.
I'll tell you what. Why don't we say we have a bit of a committee here? Why don't we ask somebody else to give you this week's homework?
Oh yeah.
I was wanting to find out what his best Celtic Christmas memory was.
It's
This is it. Talk about Christmas present.
We are actually creating history as we speak.
Right.
So, Paul, have you any question I think Dermot should seek out?
Let me think. Okay, Dermot, let me think of this. Try and find out the name of the trophy that Celtic won in 1938 by beating Everton in the final.
Oh, nice one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Okay, does this something I have to do now, or do I have a minute?
No.
You've got 10 minutes.
You have a week, but can we also ask for like team listings?
Dermot, this isn't like countdown or anything like it's. You got a few days.
I feel like I might have to wander through the streets of Dublin gathering up little clues and facts, and I feel like kind of an Annika Rice style vibe coming on here with this,
Right. So anyway, listen, Dermot, I'm actually really interested to see where this journey takes you. I mean, I've met you. We've had a couple of drinks before, so I know this is going to be a good crack. I think between yourself and Joe, like.
I think it'll be fun.
That. Yep. I'm up for it. I can't wait to listen to the next one.
But Dermot, listen, anything you want to just add, because I need to move through the callers, man. We've got.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave you guys get onto it, because I think I might be kind of interrupting the flow of the show here.
No, not at all.
So I'm just gonna wish you guys and all your listeners a very happy Christmas, and myself and Joe will be talking to you soon.
Save it yourself, man.
I'll come back to you with my homework within the next week, okay?
Brilliant, man.
Right, take it easy there,
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Supporter of the year. Huh?
Who's up next?
So listen, I think we've been actually joined by God himself.
Oh, we've been joined by the Podfather.
Right, the Podfather. Chris, are you there?
Oh God, stop up here.
Live mishaps, you can't beat it.
Where the hell are you?
Chris, have you got headphones on?
I just took them out there, Harbour.
I hate put them in, we're getting an echo.
Do you want me to put them in or take them out?
In.
That's the acoustic. That's the acoustic of the sponsor. Just huge.
Hold on now.
Echo Beach.
How's that?
That's it, man, aye.
That work for you?
Aye, perfect. Too much echo when you take the headphones out, man.
There we are. Got the headphones on.
Especially with the... So, no, listen, it's perfect time of year. It's all like a holy time of year. Then we've got the actual Father of Christ himself.
I've got my ring out. Just move up the camera there and give it a bit of a kiss.
There's that I can smell.
Joe, the last time I saw your ring, you were poking at the corner of a pub.
I know, but I was cashing experience. Nobody noticed.
Listen, used to didn't he just get delving into Belfast, speak and all fast that nobody can understand? Like,
Hold on a second. I'm on here every week listening to you, Jason and Paul. Speak Scottish to each other.
oh, well, you have to adapt.
Joe, you're the only one I understand on this podcast every week.
So, Chris, we're delighted to have you on. Obviously, you'll not be doing your wee Christmas special yourself with Eddie Pearson this year.
No, we actually extended that offer, but as you know, Eddie's in a cave, and I don't think he's getting his card stamped for Christmas, so we're going to give that a miss this year.
Oh, well, that'll be a bit of disappointment. So at least we've got you on here then to share some of your Christmas festivity.
There you go. All these annual things start every year, so maybe we'll start this off this year and continue it on from now on.
Well, this is something that we just kind of flung it together today, and probably, as you know, we never schedule or structure anything properly. But if it's something we can get going every year with everybody for the Hail Hail Media family, if there is still a Hail Hail Media family, all very well and good. So, Chris, as you know, and we're already an hour in, like, we've got a wee theme going today, and we love hearing all the wee stories for the past. Now, everybody's got a great story. Every Celtic fan's got a great story. So, Chris, we said Christmas, past, present or future. Nobody's going to go with the present or future apart from Dermot. So, Chris, take it away, man.
Well, I think Paul stole our thunder a wee bit with the present. And, I was going to go with that, but we started to wax lyrically about being in all the competitions and heading for Turin in the next round of the 16. I think he sort of beat out present and future, didn't he?
Oh, right, so that you done then, man. That you done then. Cheers. Talk to you next year. Sorry, man.
No, I thought, sort of growing up in Belfast as I did, I thought Christmas time was special as a Celtic supporter because, that's when you sort of grew out of getting the Roy of the Rovers annual or the Beano or whatever, and you started to get the playing for Celtic books. And I think that's when you started to become, more into it and things like that. Well, my brother actually used to get the playing for Celtic books, and I used to read them. But the whole collection of them, and it's funny when you see them on eBay and stuff, they're worth a fortune, so they are.
Mm.
But you used to get all these wee sort of knickknacks in your stocking and all the rest of it. Your Superior team and a pair of Celtic pajamas and all the rest of it. But that's what it was sort of growing up in Belfast. Joe, you probably relate to this. There used to be a boy that used to stand at the bottom of Castle Street, and he used to have a wee sort of market stall, and it was the only place you would get all the Celtic memorabilia.
You get everything you wanted. You get towels, hats, scarves, all that.
Yeah, because all the regular sports shops didn't really carry Celtic stuff. If you went to SS Moores, they just sort of, carry golf balls to throw at the Ulster Says No people and stuff like that. But
first place I remember selling Celtic tracksuits, I first ever seen a Celtic strip on sale was a place called Trudy Fair at the top of the Donegal Road. Right? And it's still there. It's still there. It's the first place I ever seen anywhere in West Belfast selling Celtic strips. It's Leicester selling.
But you're back young, Joe. See the first strips, you got them in a box. Remember they came in a box?
Well, it came in a box, yeah.
But he's in a box.
Trudy Fair had them in a box. It was with like a kind of a window in the front, right?
Aye. And you got the pants and the socks as well, right?
Yes, everything was in the box.
And the thing is, you mentioned in one of your pods, Chris, and I was pissing myself. You never throw anything away. Feel like on the bags and anything with Celtic on it, you can't throw it away. I've got a house. Aye, I'm a hoarder. If you get into my drawers and stuff like that, I've got labels for the Celtic shop, things like that. Just can't throw it away. It's funny we talk about that because now sort of people give me wee things when we do podcasts or we meet people in Las Vegas, wee badges and all the rest of it. And I always give them away, Harbour will testify to that. I always give all that stuff away. But I have this wee box up in my loft, right? And it's travelled all around the world with me. And the very first thing when you open the box is a Pat Stanton football focus cut out from from Shoot magazine, and there's a big tomato sauce stain on the front of it, and it must be from about 1978. Aye, but stuff's in there, but all the new stuff I just sort of give it a ledge. That's just me. I use the scarves and stuff like that. I do it. And yesterday I was with one of the guys for the Green Brigade, and my youngest son Rory, when the Green Brigade have got a new scarf out, I'll buy it, just give the boys some money for the displays and stuff. And I got Rory the black one. It's got green and gold in it, but it's mostly black, just with the Green Brigade badge. And Tommy was telling me, he says they've gone for 150 quid on eBay. So I usually give stuff away, but I might actually, Rory might be missing this scarf for that. Well, it's much looking back at all that stuff too, how crap it was. But we've all got boxes of that. That's all right. But you're asking me about Christmas memories. I'll tell you this one. I was probably about 21, 22, so it was about 1992, 1983. And I always played football every Saturday afternoon, and at that stage, I didn't get an awful lot of games. You know, you would have went to see Cliftonville on a Wednesday night or whatever, because there was no Sunday games, obviously in the north of Ireland at that stage, and you would rarely have got over to see Celtic. And my brother-in-law, Damien, who wasn't actually my brother-in-law at the time, we weren't married, and for Christmas he bought me a trip over to see Celtic against Aberdeen, and it was the season after the Jungle got all the seats in it. Do you remember we had the Celtic end, the Rangers end, and then we had about 12 and a half seats in the Jungle, and it was absolutely immense. And so he bought me a ticket for the match, and we went over with St. Peter's from West Belfast. Big Mervyn run the bus over, and we went over to the game. And it was probably about the 5th or 6th of January. I was dead excited because you had to actually pick a Saturday when I wasn't playing football, and there was Irish Cup Day or something. We had no match, and we went over on the boat. And at that stage there was no fast boats over from Belfast, so you're away from 4:30 or 5 in the morning, and you went down. You got the ferry that took another 4 or 5 hours. Again, you drove up the Ayrshire coast and all the rest of it. And as we got closer to Glasgow, the fog started to come down. And I hadn't been to see Celtic in about a year and a half. And the fog was coming down. The closer we got to Glasgow, and the closer we got to Glasgow, it was getting thicker and thicker and thicker. And we got into the ground. We went to the Celtic end, and you could see absolutely nothing. It was pea soup, right? And at this stage, I can't even remember who was in goals that day. It wouldn't have been Paddy Bonner, would it have been? Don't know, maybe Al McKnight or something. And all you could see was the Celtic goalkeeper and nothing else. And I was so excited about going over to watch the match. And the match got called off at half time. We all went home. A big opportunity was wasted, so it was. And although we had a great time on the boat going back again, but this was the first time we'd been over in a couple of years, and the bloody match got called off at half time. Raging it was. Anyway.
Chris, see while we've got you on, right?
Yes.
I just want to ask you, because we've got a big, I forgot to say at the start of the show, we've got a big charity raffle going to be announced later in the show. But the main prize of that raffle, might as well just say, this is new, but we've not spoken of this before, but the main prize, as part of the big prize, is going to be to play in the charity game at Celtic Park next summer. Something you actually must have been one of the highlights for you this year. I mean, you took part in the Football Aid game, so just to give anybody listening just a brief idea of what that was like and what they could be expecting if they buy a ticket and win this prize. Like,
so let me tell you something about that. We did the raffle last year, as you say, David, and ended up, I went over to play in the match. I'd done the podcast from it, and I really couldn't speak highly enough about the event and the day. Mm-hmm. It was fantastic, and I could wax lyrically forever about this. We drove up. I took Pierce, my boy, up with me, and we met Chris from the Paradise Review, and the whole day it's something else. I'm kind of lost for words, which is unusual for me. But it's a full match day experience. From the minute you arrive at the front door and they have the red carpet and you see where all the players go in, you go in the same way as the players go in. And then you go down to one of the dressing rooms, and we had John Kennedy there, and we had Tom Boyd there, and all the rest of it. And, you know, it's just fabulous. And for you actually to walk out onto the park is just something else. I actually didn't feel worthy enough to be walking out onto the park. Is it stupid?
You still there?
Yes, I am still there. Can you hear me?
Aye, I thought you'd broke down into tears there or something.
It was really like that because when you're a supporter and you've watched Celtic for so long and you've seen the park and you've seen the ground, you've done all that kind of stuff, and you've been in the trophy room and all that kind of thing. But the walk out on the park was something special, and I honestly didn't feel worthy enough to be doing it. And it was only when I think we finished the game and you were off and you're sitting there that you actually took it in and you're going, my God, I actually played football in Celtic Park.
It must have been some feeling walking into the dressing room, and I know you were in the away dressing room, is that right? But to see, and I know you had lostboys.com in the back of the jersey, but it must have been something surreal. When you think back to when Lost Boys started it 3 years ago, whatever it is now, 3.5, 4 years ago even, to 3 years down the line, you would never have thought you'd been walking at Celtic Park to play in a football match, playing the same team as Tom Boyd, with Lost Boys on the back of your jersey.
It was very surreal. Not only that, but the very fact that my boy was up in the stand and sort of watching you do it. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you what was dead funny about it. See, when the match started, it was a football match. It was only when you were watching or you came off for a break or you went in half time that you realised just how big the occasion was. I know that sounds stupid because there was like 200 people there, but the football match itself was actually good fun, But to be there and have the full sort of access to Celtic Park and sit in the dressing room. All right, it was the away dressing room, but it didn't really make any difference. But to be sitting there and somebody hands you a jersey, when you were walking out, your legs were a bit jelly,
I can imagine. That is. I mean, we've got a huge prize. I'm going to announce all the stuff in the prize later, but that is obviously the main part of the prize. So, I'm going to be taking part of it myself. Just me being diabetic, and I think one of the main charities is for Diabetes Scotland. And Danny McGrain's the patron, the football aid. I know he wasn't there last year because he was away with the youths at the time the game was on, but hopefully Danny will be there this year. And so, this is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience to win this prize. And you're going to have 100 to 1 shot, because we're only selling 100 tickets, a tenner each. And we'll announce the details at the end of the show, how you get those tickets. But we're absolutely delighted to be able to give that away as part of this charity raffle. And all the money is going to football aid, obviously.
Every football supporter should have that on their bucket list, because it is a completely different experience than going to watch Celtic play at Celtic Park. Completely different experience. Right down to the guys were there for the pre-match warm up and offered you a massage and get limbered up and all this here kind of stuff, and just to go out onto the pitch and you were playing not in the goal mouth, but shooting the ball into the goals to the side and all the rest of it. It was out of this world, absolutely out of this world. And I challenge anybody, do it when you still have this opportunity. It's second to none.
Right. So
when you were shooting the ball in the net, you're just sort of standing there like thinking, and this place is packed full of people. You know what I mean? What would it be like? What kind of experience would it be for just one guy? You know what I mean? It's amazing.
Weird, so it was, because as I say, you're sort of shooting into the goals at the side, which was great, but you still put a wee sneaky one into the main goals, just he shut the ball down to Celtic Park,
Chris, as I say, and I keep saying to all the callers, and I feel bad bumping people off, but we've got a couple of guys just waiting to come on. We've only got maybe 15-20 minutes to spare, Chris, so anything else you want to add? Anything you want to ask any of the rest of the boys that are on here, or whatever, man?
No, lads, I'm just delighted the way that Hail Hail Media has grown over the last year, and it's a credit to everybody in it. When we started Lost Boys, as you say, such a long time ago, and this was a dream to have Celtic shows nearly every single night. And the beauty about it is, every single show is very, very good. Mm-hmm. When you sort of throw those doors open and you say, okay, there's been some good Celtic podcasts in the past, with Celtic Underground and hopefully Lost Boys. When HomeBhoys came along, it all changed again. With the shows and all this kind of stuff. But see, when you see the likes of the boys down in Australia and the boys in the Hullboard. And I could go through them all, of course I could. But to see all that growing up is just, it's out of this world. And it sets you apart from every other club again. And that's so much what Celtic's all about, you know.
What's next for Lost Boys, Chris?
Lost Boys is in a funny wee place at the minute because you guys have taken the pressure off us all because we don't have to do it every single Friday anymore. And that has sort of been a great help to me, especially, you know, moving back across the pond kind of thing. And now we can kind of do it, and we can do it at our leisure, and we can throw it up there, and if people want to listen to it, it's there. And if they don't, that's fair enough as well. But we still sort of have plans. We've got a couple of ex-players in the works. We've got a few extra special guests coming on now over the next sort of 5 to 6 weeks. It's just sort of loading everybody in, and of course we'll have the other three amigos on over Christmas again. But we've got 2 ex-players at the minute that are pretty close, and one of them is probably going to be a bit of a surprise to people, and something a wee bit different from what we've done before. I don't want to sort of let the cat out of the bag because it all falls on its arse, of course, you know. But
give us a hint. Give us a hint.
What?
Give us a hint.
Played for Celtic.
I'm not going to give you a hint, but he was a centre half, and he played in the 90s, and he had a really sort of bad perm. Maybe it wasn't a perm. But anyway.
Definitely wasn't a nonny then.
There you go.
See, before you go, Paul, it's Jason, just to let you remember, Cheltenham Everton tickets, the guys are at me constantly, so you can do, comrade.
I'm trying to get Cheltenham Everton tickets, and they're all sold out right now. But Jason, I'm still trying. We'll see.
All right, mate. No worries. Try your best.
On sale to season ticket holders in people that had 2 stubs that have been to games this year. They're all gone when I phoned up the ticket office last Wednesday. But a few guys might be able to get a couple anyway, Jason. But I'll let you know.
Perfect, mate. All right. Good man.
But what a fantastic Christmas it is. Not only are Celtic top of the league, we're in the last 16 of the Champions, but Cliftonville are sitting pretty at the top of the Irish League, and Cheltenham Town are in the playoffs. That's great, isn't it?
And the actual, see the Everton fans you're trying to get tickets for down at Cheltenham, they actually ran a bus to the Cliftonville Coleraine game a couple of weeks ago.
Aye,
they were there. They were in the Solitude a couple of weeks ago. They said their prayers before they went because they were calling themselves Reds for the day. Didn't sit nice for them, but they went and shouted on the Reds.
I'll talk to you on Twitter, and we'll see how many we need to get sorted out. Okay?
Perfect. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, Chris, man. Obviously, wish the very best to yourself, Geraldine, and the kids over Christmas, and we'll talk to you all soon, man.
Yeah.
Cheers,
mate.
Cheers, Chris.
Cheers, Chris. Now, listen, I know we were going to get us in between the callers with our wee thing, but Marty Flynn's coming on because he's only got 10-15 minutes and he has to head out. So, you there, Marty?
I'm here. Can you hear me, boys?
Yes, the voice of the temporary stand.
Hello. Hello, how are you?
We should actually got Scott on at the same time, I suppose. I know he's hanging about the chat room there.
Here. He's on Skype somewhere. He's probably listening, so if you're listening, Scott.
Alright, just jump on, Scott, if you're listening. Just jump on at the same time. So how's it going, man?
Not too bad. Listen, I had to stick my nose in here when McGuigan started stinking up the podcast talking about Cliftonville. You know what I mean?
Belfast is just taking over this podcast today.
That's right. How are you, Jude?
That's how it works. I'm here, Marty. It's crack, man. You right?
All right, yes, son. Good to hear from you, kid.
Sitting here drinking my mulled wine with Santa hat on.
I'm sitting here in my trunks.
Same here. I've actually just poured myself an Advocaat and Diet Iron Brew, and believe it or not, it's lovely. It's lovely.
Celtic fans drinking
Advocaat.
Instead of employing advocates to get them out of trouble.
Well, mate, now here we are. We've been joined by the dude. You there, man?
Hello.
You there, Scott? Can you hear us?
Aye, you hear me?
Aye, loud and clear, man. The dude is now with us, and we've now got the dude and Chuck for the temporary stand. Happy days.
Good to hear, boys. Well, listen, I missed the chat earlier on, so I just wanted to come on and wish us all a very happy Christmas. It's been a busy year for everybody, I think. And we were supposed to have an interview set up this morning, but it didn't come off. So instead of a Christmas special, we'll be having a New Year's special with somebody who Well, I suppose very well known Celtic face, although not a Celtic person, but has a big connection to the club. So fingers crossed for a bit of crack in the new year.
So there's a good week.
Yes. Only here, because McCarry's been on the drink for 2 days, it didn't happen.
Was that right?
I'm broken, honest to God. So, the best laid plans of Mason men, as you know, don't always come off, but it's going to be an exciting year for everybody, I think, with the last 16 stuff. And I suppose everybody's just in good form, aren't they?
Oh,
it's my God, it does feel like it's been Christmas all year, you know what I mean?
2012 was definitely some year. Like, for all the, God bless the Mayans, they knew. They told us what was happening. So
highlight of the year, Chuck?
Highlight of this year? The European nights, I suppose, have to be the biggest highlight. And not having the mull over the Tramps, for me, has been a particular highlight. I don't subscribe to the two-team theory. I think we're much better off without them. So for me, it's been a pleasure. But we were just talking about old Christmas games and stuff recently.
Yeah.
They're on. I thought I saw that on the lineup. But one of them for mine at Christmas, I used to love going over Boxing Day. And one of them was Scott. Do you remember the year we went to the park cut? Remember the lost the power at Celtic Park? Can you remember that?
But no.
Was it?
Scott thinks he's called into the one show or something.
Are you awake, Scott? Hello, Scott. Wake up, Scott. Scott.
Right. Was that with you?
Aye.
I'll come down.
Was it that? I'm near sure it was Livingston. Did we not go down? I remember me and you and Mad Dog went down to the park and there was nobody there. And we were like, what the fuck's going on? And it turned out there had been a power cut at Celtic Park. The match went ahead, but it went ahead about 2 hours later. I remember starting eating a freezing cold burger. The only place in the whole of Celtic Park that had power was the burger van at the bottom of Carrydale Street. That couldn't be that long ago. I think that was only about 5 years ago.
Honest to God, no idea what you're talking about.
I've no either. I'm trying to rack my brains. I can't think.
No, that's
I'm pretty sure we ended up in the Brazen that night. It was definitely Boxing Day. Because the year...
fucking narrowing it down there,
I know. You and your Brazen season. Jason, I'll tell you an odd one. Jason, are you there?
Aye, I'm here, mate.
I'm pretty sure the year before we were at Tynecastle, and it was the week after the Northern Bank got robbed, and we were all waving big £20 notes at the Hearts fans. And they were saying, we've got 35 million in the bank. My two Boxing Day. I always really look forward to going for Boxing Day, and fatherhood has put the clamps on me, unfortunately.
Scott,
what was the game with the Huns game? Run about, because my mates came out for Lurgan and they'd already booked their flights, but the game got postponed for something. What was that? That was maybe about 3-4 years ago. Sure, I meant to play them in New Year.
Was it the snow? Was it not the bad snow, the bad weather year?
I don't know, but they wouldn't be able to fly out then. They flew out. Something must have happened.
It was when Phil O'Donnell died, Jason.
Oh, so it was. You're right. Sorry, that's what it was. Bloody hell, imagine not remembering that.
You're right. That's 100% Paul. That's spot on. So there's my couple of memories anyway. Waving £20 notes at the Jambos. That was some crack, I must say. And eating a freezing cold burger at the bottom of the Carrydale Street, hugging my mate because it was freezing.
What about yourself, Scott? You got any memories past the last week?
Past the last 2 hours?
It gets back to Jason's talking about this Boxing Day, and Boxing Day to me always brings up Dundee from Dundee United. My name's first year, so it would have been 2001, 2000, and we pumped them 4-0, and for half time right through to the end of the game, everybody just sang Martin O'Neill for the whole time, and Marty's the same age as myself, and as much as the 80s happened and the 80s were there, and our formative years were the Huns winning fucking everything. I mean, the 90s were you were growing up. That was it. So Martin O'Neill started that time and he changed everything. And in that year, I don't think we were sober any game after that. Honest to God, right through the end of the season was like a party, absolutely stunning. And that's for Boxing Day. And just as Jason says, I can't wait for Boxing Day, man. Christmas Day's getting in a bloody way. You know what I mean? We're leaving at 1 o'clock. We're going up to a wee club just round the corner, the Dundee Social Club, And I'm looking forward to it. It's been a good day, but that's always remembered, and it was a good memories that Martin Neal had. I know Martin Neal's getting some of the criers and stuff, but nah, he changed the whole shebang for me, and obviously the King and the stuff like that. So, but I've got one to fling you, right? I'm going to bring the tone down a wee bit. No, all happy and stuff like that. We spoke about it in the past. I'd like to see Celtic this year brought in. Remember we were all talking about the number 10. That was the topic for a long while.
Yep.
And I would like to see Celtic. I don't know. I don't mean to. I don't mean to take things for granted here, because it's probably big Victor's smashing and stuff like that. But I'd like to see. I mean, we all remember, as much as scoring goals are the name of the game, and we got 4 yesterday, and I did enjoy the game. But do you remember when Lubo played? And when Lubo played, it was exciting and it was great to watch. I'd like to see us integrate that. See, to be perfectly honest, maybe it wouldn't work, because in the Champions League we need our guys. We need 11 guys busting our arse the way they did against Barcelona. I don't think we could have accommodated a luxury type player. But I'd like to see Celtic get one new and just add to it. Make the home games a wee bit more. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's brilliant rattling in goals, but that's what the dummy mob are doing in that league as well. They're just scoring goals. I'd like to see us a wee bit more flair. As Jason said, Forrest coming back in brilliant. Somebody with a wee bit of drive and energy to be battling down, to make the counter-attacks more productive and stuff. But I'd like to see just I think Dylan McGee due a goal, but again, I'm saying that after we win 4-0, so who's right here? It's no Neil Lennon, is it?
I know exactly what you mean, Scott. And see guys like Nakamura and guys like Moravchik, you would win the game 10 minutes before it kicks off, and you'd be watching them intently how they're training and stuff like that, because they could just do something that captures your imagination. And Nakamura could turn in a sixpence and he would just have you mesmerised, and you'd be like, how did he do that? Moravchik exactly the same, both feet outside the box. Didn't matter what side he was on, he could drill it into the top corner. And we've seen a bit of it with Key, but it didn't sort of manifest into what it could have been, perhaps. But these guys, how do you find these players on sort of our budget at the minute?
Well, that's the part. It was actually something I was thinking about, and it concerns Joe and Harper. Is you guys said your wee arguments with regard to Paddy McCourt, right? And see in defence of Harper, Joe, I think the whole Paddy McCourt thing comes from because we know what he can do. Ultimately, is he good enough to be playing Celtic? I think we all kind of know the script. He's not consistent enough, but he is that image of what Jason's talking about. He's that image of a guy who gets the ball and drops the shooter and gets by people that we Celtic fans think that we deserve. We've always been a club that we embrace the. I mean, look at our greatest player. Our greatest player in the world is Zinke. I mean, and then you've got the King after him. All these fella players, and the Mankey mob always had fucking big centre halves that booted people. I mean, there's the whole difference between the two ethoses, and I think Celtic it's hard to find them in there. It's hard. I mean, people are paying mega money. I mean, Real Madrid fucking paid 25 million for Modric, and would you say Modric is one of the best in the world? Do you know what I mean? And
Scott, see what you're saying, right? I think the problem is we don't have a guy who we can look at in the team as a regular that's an out-and-out entertainer. Who you're going to go there and be... Aidan McGeady was probably, arguably, the last guy that we had like that who you knew was going to go at least do some things in the game to entertain. I'm not saying other guys in the trying, but we just didn't have that flair player. And I don't think... I know there's a certain school of thinking that can be a luxury in the modern game and all that, but I don't think so. I think at a side like Celtic, in the league we're playing in, we should be able to be winning and entertaining at the same time.
See, another point that Scott brings on there as well, and it's maybe, I don't know what you think about this, but me and my good mate Jim yesterday were talking about this, and see under Martin O'Neill, that's the only time ever in my life, or anything I know about Celtic history, that we've bullied Rangers. See exactly what you say, Scott. They bully us all the time, but we had the flair players that could beat that. Martin O'Neill, he made us more like a Rangers team than we were like a Celtic team. You know, like we had a lot of big, strong players there, a couple of class players in among it. but effectively we played more like a Rangers team with a big tough defence and stuff like that, and we bullied them, no, we battered them, but that's not the way we play. I don't know what you think of that.
But it's no. Sorry.
See, just on that, Jason, I went back and checked the fixtures to see when that game was, when the Park Up was, and it was 2005, and about 3 weeks before we played the Huns in the League Cup. If you remember, Maloney scored a lovely goal, and then Baldy scored, but he didn't actually score. He just ran at Klaus, and Klaus shit himself, and the ball ran under him. Do you remember that? And that illustrates your point perfectly. They were actually that group of players that O'Neill had brought together actually frightened them. They were physical, they were big, they were ugly, and they just took no prisoners at all. And you saw it that year with whitewashed them, which was the year before.
And it was alien being a Celtic supporter. On you go, Scott.
You just come back to your point there. See this team, you're bang on the button when you describe Martin Neal's team. He built a big solid unit, and the guys who were all going to bust their ass. Plus, he had the king there already sitting waiting to get started, and it allowed him to kind of use Lubo in every now and then. Do you know what I mean? But you saw when Henry went away, he couldn't accommodate Janino. He couldn't accommodate somebody who maybe is going to give you 30 minutes in a 90 minute. Well, he's going to get the ball and he's going to run it people and he's going to make the killer passes. That was not how Martin Neal's team set up. I mean, you could follow that. But look at Celtic the new. We've got a very big, strong unit the new. I mean, Barcelona, I was reading a wee forum this morning. I don't even know the name of the forum. And it was Barcelona fans were going, well, Barcelona looked scared of Celtic because they were just big monsters. We've kind of accepted that the league games are, as much as they're our bread and butter, we've accepted that we've put them in the back burner. The whole idea is the Champions League, and he's going to bang on. Of course he's going to bang on. Do you know what I mean? We're in the last 16. But with regards to the league game, I don't know. Maybe we should be trying to change something. I mean, but I don't know. I know the team we've got the now is maybe is near to a Martin Neal team. So it's sort of similar.
I was reading. See, Jason, just on that, Jason, I was reading an Aberdeen forum. Somebody had stuck it up on the hunt board after we played Aberdeen a couple of months back, and that's what they were saying. They were saying, Jesus Christ, the Celtic team was so physical, they were so big, and you went through the team, people like Charlie Mulgrew, who sort of made his name as a kid as a left back. He's 6'2". You know, why was he ever developed as a left-sided fullback? It's crazy. He's over 6 foot, and even right up to the front of the team, Tony Watt's over 6 foot. You know, and through that you have a big Spain, you have Wilson, Ambrose, Wanyama. You know, all these big guys with a couple of smaller guys around them, like Brown and you know, who aren't that much smaller around them. So I think Lennon's taken a conscious decision that we need beefy players, and you can see the results.
Aye, and it's worked in Europe, because at the end of the day, let's face it, if we are the budget we're operating at this minute to play in Europe against the cream in world football, how else can we compete? You know, we can't compete with flair. You know, exactly. if we played like that against the cream of Europe, there'd only be one winner there. Yeah. But seeing another thing, just quickly, I just got a joke here, and it's the funniest thing ever. It just says, I'm so glad Mrs. Thatcher got through her operation all right. It says, trying to let fireworks off in this weather would be a fucking nightmare.
God bless her.
There you go.
Listen, Scott, Marty, we've got the boxer Danny O'Connor lined up, and I know he's got to go training. We've got him coming on at 5:30. So, any final, Marty? Can you fill Scott in with what's going to be happening with the temporary stand in the future?
As I say, we have some interviews coming up that we're trying to nail down. A lot of us have children, so it's been very difficult over the last few weeks pulling people together. We changed our night, which didn't work, so it looks like we're having to go back to something or whatever. But we're just going to keep her lit. I think I just listened to the back end of Chris's interview, and he was saying the same, that it's kind of taking the pressure off everybody. There's regular content. It's not just falling to the HomeBhoys, and it isn't just falling to the Lost Boys anymore, which is great, you know. So we're just going to try and keep plugging holes where we can.
Brilliant, man. Scott, any final thoughts?
No.
We can keep Scott off the drink. We're flying.
Give me a chance, man. No chance.
He's a shouting Boxing Day if you see his mate.
No, mate, you pick me up in Boxing Day, I'll be like the player.
And if you've smuggled any drink kick, he's a big shout.
Don't say nothing. As I said earlier on, a bottle and a half of Buckfast fits into 2 bottles of cola. There you go.
Coke Zero. Listen, boys, happy Christmas.
All the best, gentlemen.
You too, Marty.
Andrew, boys.
See you later.
Nice, guys. Happy Christmas. Bye.
Cheers, guys. Paul, just before we get Danny O'Connor on then, we'll bring you in and get your wee Christmas story or whatever you want to put in for the theme, like.
Aye. I was actually thinking about this when you suggested a couple of days ago, and the one thing that really sticks out in my mind is Boxing Day 1987. We went up to Paradise, and I don't know what it was like in your households, Christmas and that, but that was the day before was the first time I actually got my Celtic St. Mary strip for my Christmas. So I was delighted to be going up and all that kind of thing. And I remember going up on the bus, and everybody was a bit down because we had about 4 or 5 injuries that day. And it was a real big game for Celtic. And we had a few injuries. We had, basically the whole defence was out and stuff like that. And we also had never won at Paradise in 3 years going up there. And we won it up. We were absolutely brilliant. And Dundee United got a real quick equaliser. And it was humming on. I was standing behind the goal, the old terrace at Paradise in the old Celtic game. And I'll never forget the ball just getting swept across by Chris Morris, the last kick of the ball. And Joe Miller just done a diving header right into the top corner. And that was it, the final whistle. And it was just like, I remember distinctly for the first time that season, it maybe happened before, but as we all left Paradise, we all started singing, we're going to win the league, we're going to win the league. And it was just one of these great memories, and that followed on to what Pat's game was earlier on. It was a big Rangers 2-0 in January 2nd, and we never looked back and said, new year. And it was just one of the things that always stuck out. Again, Dundee and Boxing Day is just one of the things that seems to happen to Celtic, but that goal for Joe Miller that day was one of the most ecstatic I've ever been in my life,
It's funny how Dundee and Dundee United's played such a big part in all their sort of Celtic lives, in that Boxing Day period, like.
I mean, I don't know, I'm sure Jason and I will say the same, like, Dundee always feels like a really welcoming place for Celtic, Yeah, you didn't get this sort of vitriol for the supporters. I mean, occasionally Dundee fans can do it, but Dundee United didn't get the vitriol. I mean, the pubs are all great, welcoming, the wee clubs, cheap drinks, Scovy's own, mince and pies, all that kind of thing, up to the old ambassador upstairs, chanting away and all that. I mean, it was just brilliant, and it's a sort of place where, as Jason says, you might not get to all the away games in a season as you get older, but if you hear Dundee Boxing Day, we're leaving at 12 o'clock or whatever, boom, you can't wait to go.
Aye, and I've got a load of mates in Lockheed, and Lockheed's known as the Little Tipperary, and it's like a housing scheme in Dundee, and I'd say it's 90% Celtic supporters. It's unbelievable. I didn't believe these places existed outside Glasgow, sort of thing, when I was younger. But no, absolutely. I mean, it's unbelievable. You got there and it's all Celtic supporters. So I'll be up in my pub up there. I'll go up and meet a few of my mates up there, and I'll head up to the game with them. But no, it's always you're right, Paul. It's a welcoming place, and aye. No, it's.
Do you know what I think, Jason? It's a good distance to travel. Because everybody, if you get the wee jag on the bus, like, do you know what I mean? So it's you get a good crack on the bus. Everybody's in a good mood. You got to Dundee. It's not too far, but it's a good distance to get a good jag on you on the bus. Then you get off the bus, and as you say, the pubs and that are always bouncing there. Like, so I just think there's a whole great atmosphere about going to Dundee. Like.
Aye, you can use it. Seeing the analogy with our mates down in England, when obviously they're all following Everton away, they follow them everywhere, and that's like similar for them going to like Stoke or Birmingham. Which is just the right distance. When they're heading down to Southampton or, other Norwich and places like that, by the time they get there, everybody's arseholed because they've been bevying all the way there and whatever. But if you're going like a decent distance, you get a couple of beers or whatever, but obviously you don't drink in the buses nowadays because the police pull you in at Clyde Football Stadium and search your bus and things like that. So that's not as good anymore. But no, you're right. It's the right distance up. In Scotland, we don't really travel much to away games because there isn't much travel. Most games are in the Central Belt. You've only got the 2 Dundee clubs and Aberdeen and St Johnstone out with sort of the Central Belt. And so we've not got far to well, St What am I talking about? You've got Inverness and Ross County now. But,
just about everybody's out.
That's half the league. So apart from Aberdeen, Inverness, Ross County, the rest of them are very easily accessible. There we go.
So listen, we've been joined by another caller from another one of the top shows in Hail Hail Media. This guy has thousands of miles to travel he wants to go and see Celtic. I believe we've got Graham, the leading light for Beyond the Waves, on the line. Are you there, Graham?
Good morning, boys.
Morning, brother. Afternoon here, man. But no, carry on.
Merry Christmas to you. How's everybody making out?
Listen, man, I hope you're not sitting in that outfit that you were tweeting pictures of yesterday. I don't know if you've seen this, boys.
No.
Graham was dressed as a large elf.
No, it's just we had a little shindig last night, so we had about 30 people over. I just thought it would be a good laugh, so I had this sweater that was made up like Buddy the Elf, from like the Elf movie. It was the appropriate colors, it was green and white. They had one that was colored for like it looked like a Santa suit, but I didn't like the red as much as the green, so I went with the green one. But it was a good laugh.
Right, good crack, man. So listen, Graham, you've been listening in, and the theme of the show is Christmases, past, present, or future. And I know you were having a wee think about this. You said to me in the forum you were going to get a few thoughts together. So take it away, man.
But it's a bit unique for me. I didn't grow up supporting Celtic, and that's really where the magic of Christmas comes about. With gifts and Santa Claus and the tree and all that sort of thing. I came about having a passion for Celtic as an adult, but so I don't really have many like Boxing Day or Christmas memories, so to speak. But just looking at it generally, and just thinking about Celtic and what they've done so far this fall, and to understand the history, you really can get a good sense of it by analyzing the present. Where you talk about, okay, we're in the knockout stages of the final 16, right? Celtic has had multiple trips to this point. Hopefully, we're going to progress past that this year. But talking about Juventus and going away to Turin, if you're going to do any analysis of this upcoming tie, obviously you need to look back to, as Joe referenced in his song, the injustice that happened in Turin, and you get a good sense for the history by analyzing the present. Same thing with the Barcelona result, where obviously we had just an absolutely magical night against Barcelona and getting that result, and may not have ever been more shocking against Barcelona. But if you look at the recent history, we've had success against Barcelona. There have been magical nights against them. Same with Spartak Moscow, and same with Benfica. We have some history there. So, it's just a great time to be supporting Celtic. And I think that you're right. We're not just on the cusp of something special. We're right in the thick of something special. It was about this time last year when Seamus Cummins, I was at his house after he had the fire, and he moved into his new house, and we just gotten done beating Rangers, and he said 2012 was going to be the year of the Celts, and I just had absolutely no idea that it was going to come as far as it had. But 2012 for me, I just want to sort of look back on a couple of memories. One of them was in 2011, but it really ties in. It was the book launch for Paul in the Bronx, and I've talked about some of my favorite memories. I wrote about one of them in Balls of Goals and Hessling, shameless plug, and so I was thinking about, I've talked about a lot of that, but what I want to talk about is some of my favorite memories and meeting fellow Celtic supporters and meeting up with a lot of people, because yourself. Everybody that you talk to people on Twitter and you develop a relationship and you feel like you know them, and then but yet you never even meet them in person. But getting up to the Bronx and meeting Chaz and Kevin and being there for Paul on his day, and meeting Frankie and Nick and Gary, and it was just a great day where you felt that the bonds that you've made along Twitter and then through associated friends, you really feel that connection completed. It was just a magical day, and then obviously Celtic coming to Philadelphia and playing against Real Madrid. That was just like the book launch, on steroids. You got to meet people like Deco, which, when you talk to him on Twitter or the message boards or what have you, you hear him on the show. He's just brilliant crack, and then you meet him in person. It's just
it's a different experience. It's a different experience in the flesh, you could say.
Yeah, no question. But it was just. There's just so many people who I've interacted with on Twitter and who've called the show or just very supportive, and you get to meet them in person. And it's like, no, this is real. This isn't just on the computer. This isn't just on the internet. This is something that's tangible and that we're part of, and it's a great feeling. And then my favorite Celtic gift, I guess I'd have to reference came in the form a few days ago of a plane ticket to Glasgow. So I'm actually coming over. it's kind of it's kind of a surreal thought. I've thought about it for so long, and just one thing or another got in the way. But it was like, right now, this time I'm come hell or high water, I'm going to make it happen. And fortunately, I was able to sort it out with not too much bother. And thanks to Paul for Paul Arkin for sorting me out when I get over there, and just looking after me.
So here, Graham. So are we looking at a Paradise half-time draw?
No, I don't. No. No, I'm gonna probably hide out. I'm not doing any windfall or
Why don't you just let the cat out of the bag, Graham? You're coming over to take over for Tony Hamilton.
It's a coup. It's a coup.
Can I just ask Graham, how's Paul going to look after you in Glasgow?
I don't know. Hey. It's a leap of faith for me. I don't know, Paul. I have full faith in Paul. Yeah.
I'm sure the parrot will be the man to be down there looking after. Like Stephen, you there? You've been very quiet, man.
I'm always quiet, Davey. No, hopefully we're going to kidnap. I know the Drum Chapel Free State and the Casamount flying column are taking Brady G out for the day, so we better get a Hail Hail Media collection in case he ends up in court. But there you go.
That's if they left me off the plane in the first place.
Sorry, I'm just trying to work this Twitter. Danny's trying to get on. Skype says you're offline, internet's not working, no idea. We're struggling to get Danny on. So Graham, what's next for Beyond the Waves? I've been asking all the guys, is anything planned? Just going to keep plugging away yourself and the Rev? And what's happened to the coach? He's not been around so much recently, man.
Yeah, I'm kind of at a loss, to be honest with you. I haven't heard from him in a couple of months. I hope he's doing all right. I've reached out to him a couple times and haven't heard back. So I'm not exactly sure. Sometimes maybe you just need some time away to gather your thoughts and maybe recharge the batteries. So hopefully he's going to be back soon. But in the meantime, it's just me and the Rev. Like you said, plugging along. We're trying to get some writers in to do some interviews in the run-up to the event this time, and also trying, as we always do, try and give a bit of sense of the atmosphere here in the U.S., trying to set up a couple of chats with some of the CSCs, Houston Emerald CSC. They're having an absolute boom right now with new members coming in all the time, one of which, Danny O'Connor, who you're going to have on in a couple of minutes. So I want to get in touch with Ian Carmichael, the head of the CSC down there, and then they have a couple of members who have just taken their first trip to Celtic Park. So I want to interview a couple of them just to, for my own reference, obviously, because I'm going to be having that experience here in the next couple of months, but also to give the folks overseas who, maybe don't have a sense for what that's even like. If you've been going to Celtic Park all your life, what is that even like? The first time that you go, what are your expectations, and what were your takeaways leaving? How did it match up? So I think that'd be very interesting. But we'll just be going on after each game, trying to wrap things up, and just allow people to call in and give us their thoughts. And as always, it's open for all. We're not going to sort of filter down the discussion like the mainstream media does. This is our media, done by us, for us. So we'll just keep going with that.
Brilliant, man. Well said.
Well said.
Brilliant.
So listen, I'll let you guys get back to it. I know you got Danny coming on soon, but Merry Christmas to y'all, and hopefully we'll get in touch, or maybe see each other when I get over there, and just have a wonderful Christmas and hunt-free New Year.
Brilliant. Sounds great, Graham.
Cheers,
Graham. Listen, we've got a message from KK. He couldn't join us today, so he sent in a message. I'm going to play. It's just 2 minutes long, and while I'm playing that, I'll try and get Danny on the Skype, because he's saying he's going online, he's coming offline, so he's maybe having problems with his internet. So I'll try and get.
Tell him to take his gloves off.
Aye. Whoosh. Right, I'm just going to play KK's message and we'll try and get Danny on. Right, here we go.
Hail, hail, and a Merry Christmas to everybody. It's KK from the Paradise Report here. Just wanted to leave a message and say what a fantastic year 2012 has been for us. There's so many brilliant memories. Winning the league, Paul Larkin book launches, beating Barcelona. You've all heard my audio for that one. Just looking forward to the last couple of games of the year, including the Boxing Day game up in Dundee. Always love a Boxing Day game. The last decade or so of them has been absolutely brilliant, and I think possibly my favourite one had to be the one in 2001. That was my first one. I was still picking up tickets at the time. I was on a waiting list to get a season ticket, and I managed to get tickets for the game against Livingston that day. Livingston were going great guns that season. I think they finished third actually. And there was a point in the game, it was still 0-0. Lobo Moravchik gets upended at about 40 yards for goal. And I turned to my dad, who was sitting next to me, and says to him, I don't know if that was a good idea. Lobo's likely to get up and put this down himself and stick it into the top corner, a curler. Sure enough, Lobo does exactly that. And the guy in front of me turned round as we were cheering the goal and congratulated me for my prediction. But the game went on, Livingston got an equaliser. We took the lead again, Livingston got another equaliser. Time was marching on. I think we went down to 10 men. And just as it got to stoppage time, you're thinking, oh no, we're going to drop more points. I think we dropped points the previous game as well. And we're looking to keep our record going, and we're still chasing the title for the second year in a row. Are we going to get this win or not? The referee was against us, if I remember rightly, as well. We did a few dodgy decisions. And then, about 25-30 yards to go, Thompson nips in, steals it off a defender, cuts in, plays a perfectly weighted pass into Larsson's path, he taps it into the net, and the place goes wild. Absolutely brilliant. 3-2 in stoppage time, 3 points. What a game it was, and it's kind of set the scene for all the Boxing Day games that have come after it. So I hope you all have a good festive period, and I will talk to you on my own podcast again soon. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail. Indeed, Chris. That was Chris for the Paradise Report. Those are the commentary, and I think the highlight of the year for him's definitely got to be his Tony Watt commentary for the Barcelona game, which just went viral. I think it's had about a gazillion, million, trillion views on YouTube at this stage. We would have a wee chat about what Chris was saying there. He was talking about the Livingston game for years gone by, but we've managed to get the furious Fenian fists of Danny O'Connor on the line. We've ironed out the technical difficulties. Are you there, Danny?
Yeah, man, I'm here, man. Thanks for having me again.
Oh, no.
Hey, did you rob a bank or something? Is that what happened?
No, I had to step outside to use the Skype on my phone, and I don't know what is going on, but the sirens are loud as hell.
I'm starting to think you should move.
It's an ambulance. I see it. It's an ambulance. Everything's good.
You were the guy that film The Town was based on, wasn't it?
The Town's a great movie. I watched that movie on the airplane coming to Scotland.
That's a brilliant movie. I love it.
I'm just waiting for the shout. Get on the ground, hands behind your head, like. So, Danny, tell us. Listen, we've had you. This is your third time on the podcast, right? We had you on just after you were over for the Barcelona game, and you told us your experience. But more than that, we were getting excited about the big fight coming up this month. The 14th, the fight was meant to take place, but unfortunately, you suffered an injury. Sparring, you had to postpone the fight. So tell us a wee bit what happened with the injury and how you're progressing, and just how you're feeling about the entire situation. Like,
it happens, man. It's unlucky. I got hurt in sparring. I got punched in my face. That's what happens when you're a boxer. So, it happens. But fortunately, the state of Massachusetts and Boston is really behind me, and they just postponed the fight instead of canceling it. So nothing really changes but the timetable of the fight. So I feel pretty good, and the injury that I had in sparring really doesn't have any negative effect over my training. I can still pretty much do anything that I want to do except get punched for like a couple weeks. So. If anything, it's just a longer training camp. I haven't been more ready to fight in a long time. I feel like I've been in training camp for a year.
Can I ask you a question, Danny? See, when somebody punches you in sparring and injures you, does everybody in the gym kind of go, "What the fuck are you doing?" or is it just like, it's just kind of like, "Oh, well, shit happens,"
Yeah, no, it's kind of more like shit happens. You got to understand, boxing. There's no seasons in boxing. It's a year-round sport, and injuries happen, especially when you're fighting people. So it kind of just happens, man. It was unlucky, and it sucks, but I just look forward to. I'm happy that Boston could keep the fight, and I can still fight at the Boston Garden. Because that growing up there is a dream. So nothing really changes but the timetable.
But the one downside is you won't be in Dublin in the next 3 weeks, which is breaking our hearts. But listen,
it's breaking my heart too, man. I was really looking forward to that. Coming over there. Maybe doing a day in by Manchester to see Ricky Hatton and Jim. I had a family trip to Disney for my son's first time ever in Disney, and I had to cancel that. So, and now I'm stuck through all the holidays here in training camp. So, it kind of messed up a few things, but you got to make sacrifices if you want to get to the top. So,
what you got to do is take all that aggression, all that pissed off aggression, and take that out in Derek Silvera then in January.
Yeah. I honestly can't wait, man. I've been ready to fight already since December, so it's kind of like, now I'm just in the waiting process between training and playing FIFA whenever I have a second out of it.
Yeah, right enough. I've seen you've been getting schooled on FIFA quite a bit.
Yeah, man, I suck, dude. It's so hard. I don't know how these people.
That's why I'm kind of pissed off you have an Xbox, because I have a PS3, and I go, people must just enjoy beating you at something, I suppose.
Man. It's probably lucky for you, because with your luck, I would beat you, and you'd be that one guy I'm better than with. But listen, no, I mean, it's hard, dude, and sometimes I just want to smash that controller through the TV. I got to, compose my anger, because it's so hard. It's frustrating. I can't score the damn ball.
It'll take time.
Yeah.
So what are your plans for Christmas then, Danny?
I don't have any plans. Be training. I don't get holidays.
Speaking of training, I watched your Plex performance video on Vimeo the other week. And Jesus Christ, that's a serious amount of hard training you guys do down there.
Yeah, I mean, Plex Performance, it really is the elite level of training. We got there's a bunch of pro athletes in there. It's just a really good atmosphere. We got football players. We even have some MLS soccer players in there who kick the ball around with me. I mean, it's a good atmosphere to train. Everybody's in there to work hard, and we have luckily, I've been blessed with a facility like that because we have access to top-notch physical therapists and stuff like that, so that they can keep me healthy, so that when an injury occurs or something's nagging, that we can get it worked on right away.
Anybody else have any other questions or answer?
Well, Danny, we had a wee sort of theme running the show, and I know you're sort of new to the Celtic family, but the theme was we were coming up with our best Celtic Christmas memories, whether it be a game or a present you got or something like that. And I don't know if there's anything that sticks out for you, or maybe just the highlight of the year, but I suppose the highlight of the year is going to be Barcelona for you anyway.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's my whole time over there when I came to the Barcelona game is the highlight of my year. But not only just that, since I went to that game and everyone welcomed me into the Celtic family, I've just had so much just love from everyone. People send me packages, and I had a gentleman actually, how you can I guess you can buy one of the bricks at Celtic Park, and you can engrave your name on it, So a gentleman from over there did that for me and engraved my name on it, and sent me over the kind of thing that Celtic Park gives you when you do it, and it's just all the love that I feel from everyone, and all the new fans I've got, and all the support and the people I talk to, and it's been a great year, man, and I'm hoping to really go forward in this 2013 and make it even better year.
Stanley, this will be your first belt, will it?
My what?
Your first belt to the England Championship.
Yeah, and it'll be my first little intercontinental belt, and the best thing is that Ken is going to get the fight stream, so that way everybody over there can watch it too, and I think that would be really cool because I get to talk to everyone all the time now. I'll be excited to have them watch what I do.
Nice one.
Brilliant.
Jason, Paul, anything you want to add?
I just absolutely love the full thing, Danny. I just love the way you've took Celtic to your heart. And I mean, you get into Celtic and you wore the strip, and then it created this sort of everybody in Glasgow and the surrounding areas, all the Celtic fans wanted to find out about you. And through Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that, we could learn more about you. But then no sooner than that happened, you decided you were coming to a game. You know, and you got on the plane, you go over to Glasgow, and then what a game to come to, do you know what I mean? And it was just, I just love the full thing, you know. You've obviously, you're part of the Irish diaspora, so to me, if you're, depending on the way you're brought up or whatever, Celtic will have a special place in your heart, and it's obviously got a special place in your heart because we're all a part of the same. If you go back generation to generation, we've all came to the same place. Well, a lot of us have. It's not an inclusive thing to the Irish diaspora, but the part of the west of Scotland and Ireland where Celtic sort of came from, the vast majority of supporters, it's not an inclusive crowd. MD's welcome, but the vast majority of supporters would have came from that background, and you're part of the same background as the rest of us. But you were brought up differently, obviously, in the States. I just love when guys like you just they pick up that little piece of their sort of history and then they take it forward. And I think Celtic should do more, especially in the East Coast of America, for guys like yourself. And I think Celtic football clubs should do more because I just love the full story, mate. And you've got thousands of fans now for the rest of your boxing career, I can assure you.
Yeah, and you know, they're more than even fans. They really are like family. So, you know, when people ask me about it and I say the Celtic family, I mean, every meaning of that word family is how I feel by the love that everyone shows me. And I mean, it doesn't matter where you come from or, you know, what color you are, what color your hair is. You know, when you put on the Celtic jersey, 100%. Everybody welcomes you in. Yeah, and it's
absolutely.
You know, I'm on it. Just spread the word over here. I got my strength and conditioning coach at Plex Performance by the jersey. Actually, he's wearing the hoops in.
see, to be honest with you, Danny, see, as being a Celtic fan, see when we go to Europe and things like that, see people with a cause. Like, see, people think it's people with a chip on their shoulder and stuff like that. But see people that are persecuted and people that's got a cause in life. Like, because of what the Irish diaspora put up with in Glasgow and things like that, Celtic is a club of the people who were formed to help the people, and people with similar type causes throughout the world can resonate with what a Celtic fan is all about. And we abhor racism. You know, that's got no place in our club. We abhor anything that's against any whatever. You know, we're an inclusive club that anybody's religious, creed, colour, it does not matter, you're welcome. But I'm just stating the fact that the vast majority of our fans came from the Irish diaspora, and that's the way the club was born, and it's great that you guys come on, but anybody's welcome at this club. You know, absolutely.
Yeah, it's, you know, it really is an honour to be part of the whole thing, and, you know, I'm bummed out that I can't come back over in January, but, you know, maybe after the fight I'd like to be there for the final. You know, I know it would be nice to come to Dementis, but, you know, I think Celtic's going to go all the way, and I think, you know, I'd like to come back to the final.
We'll see you in London.
Hey, listen, I thought you didn't tell us you were on the booze there, come on.
Hey, listen, the whole time I was coming, I said they were going to be Barcelona, and everyone looked at me like I was, you know, half in the bag already, so I'm just saying, that's all I'm saying.
I pray to God you're right, mate.
Right, we'll see you in London.
Swear to God.
So Danny, we're going to move on then. Any last wee comments or words you want to leave us with?
No, man, I just want to thank you guys for having me again. Like I said before, man, you know, every time we get to chat, it's a highlight of my day.
Oh, brilliant, man. I appreciate you saying that.
Thank you.
Well, Danny, hope you have a Merry Christmas. I know you says you're not be doing much, but I hope your kid has a great time. It's all about the kids anyway, so hope all that goes well for you, man.
All right, man, I appreciate it. Make sure you're watching on the 26th and don't blink.
Definitely.
No problem. See you then, man. Take it easy.
Cheers, brother.
All right.
So, as we carry on here, we're 2 hours in. We'll maybe get another half hour or something at this, I don't know. But we've now been joined by another one of the Hail Hail Media team, the IT. I mean, this guy could bring down governments with his skills, like our IT specialist, Mr. Josh Gaffney, who's also part of the HomeBhoys down under, and the Paradise Preview. You there, Josh?
Yeah, I'm here. Hail, hail. Glad to be calling in today. Josh, is that like a superhero sign you have on your Skype? Tell me you haven't got pajamas and have that in the front.
A big G.
A big G, yeah. G-Unit. It's a G superhero technical support, I guess.
So, Josh, you've been listening in, and we're just going to get moving along because, as I say, we're 2 hours into the show. So tell us your favourite Christmas memory or your favourite present or whatever, man.
It's a tough one because there's so many.
I can't be that many. You're only, 14 or something? Sorry, man.
I'd say my favourite Christmas memory was probably actually last year. In terms of Celtic, last year I got a football that was signed by the entire Celtic first team, and it was from my dad. And that was basically the kind of last Christmas I've spent with my dad. When we were together as a family. So that present in particular meant quite a lot to me.
Definitely, that's something you'll keep forever. Favourite game?
Favourite game? I'd probably have to say the Barcelona one. I don't know what everyone else has been saying, but just what a fantastic game to watch.
Definitely, it has to be the highlight of the season for me as well. I know we were just talking about that there with Danny. Danny came across as the highlight of his year. Is it the highlight of my year? Maybe game-wise probably is, but I suppose the highlight of my year, and you're a big part of it as well, Josh, is when we finally got the Hail Hail Media website, the new website that you put together, which is, it's pure class, man. It's a professional-looking website, and there was nothing wrong with what we had before, but I think you just took us on to a new level, and when people come and visit for the first time, they're very impressed, and you sort of took us on to a level with the website which we needed to kick us on, to give us a wee bit more, I don't know if credibility is the right word, but definitely give us a more polished and more sort of professional look about it. I don't know if
and that also meant a lot to me because, that was kind of what's kind of spun me on to make my own business, and doing it for a living. Because obviously, not having a job isn't very fun, and in the current economic market, it's very tough to get one. But there's a lot of good feedback from that website, and if my skills are making people happy, then I should go down that path.
Definitely, and I suppose then I'll be due a cut anything that you make then. There's like a finder's fee or something like that.
You can have about 1% of the business.
Hey, listen, man. Listen, when you turn into Apple one day, I'll take that 1%.
You buy a yacht, you fuck off.
I can't wait to get my G smartphone, like. That's when they'll bring out 5G.
They're bringing the hardware phone. You're having the conversation and it goes, hold on.
Hey, listen, mate. You've done some interrupting today.
What?
Stunned silence. So listen, have we been right round the table? The parrot.
Aye, what's up with you after?
What do you mean? What after? You're part of the show. Speak. What's your? Bring us your. What has been your highlight of the year, or your favourite Celtic memory, or present, or whatever like that?
My favourite Celtic experience for this time of year is pretty. Excuse my terrible pun. I've not used it all year. It was cash and carry. It was Boxing Day, 1988. You guys, I know some of these were mostly in Scotland at the time. My late father, God rest him, I was 16-year-old, and I was getting to the age where sort of very socially aware that my folks were already worked hard. My brothers were a priority, and I didn't really need much. So all I asked for Christmas was the latest Celtic strip and a box after 8 months to go with my Mellow Birds. I was even drinking it back then as a 16-year-old, and ended up. Anyway, cut a long story short, we all sat.
Keep it going. I like your stories.
I want to hear about after 8 months.
No, this is where it's going.
I want the full story, Parrot.
This is where it's going. This is going
to the last after 8.
Worse than that, mate. Trust me. So anyway, Christmas night comes and everybody's sitting there in the old after 8. I sort of unwrapped it and I looked at my old man and they were the official after 8's British Racing Green sort of coloured box. I went, what the hell's that? And my old man went, just to say, don't worry about it. And he'd ended up, he'd bought them in the soon opened, I think, pound stretchers it was, it just opened. Anyway, me and my brothers took a couple of them and I walloped the box watching Escape to Victory in the VHS. And unbeknown to me, during the night, that was me up on the cludgy all night, and we woke up to the Boxing Day Daily Record to saying fake chocolate scam, dodgy chocolates fed to sort of Scotland, and that was the box, that stuff my dad had got us. So I spent my week going to the old council gritter, and we ended up going into my favourite ever Celtic game was when we played Hearts that year. We won 4-2 with the Billy Stark scored the screamer with the last kick of the ball. Put him up in the grey cross, but that'll always be my memory. It was only time, really, me, my late father and my two brothers, we were all in the jungle together, and that, honestly, I mean, I wasn't always the sort of big guy I was now. I looked like something out of Schindler's List, chocolates, they just empty boots sort of thing, you know. So, obviously, get into the jungle, as you know, the smell of the parkhead toilets, the jungle toilets was to the best, and there was all these guys reeking of baby, and I never drank at that time, I never did till I went to sea, so all these guys drunk, smelling a BO, covered in puke, and the half-eaten grey parkhead pies getting walloped, so that's my eternal memory, but I mean, I've said very little today, the reason being, you've got all these great guys on talking about Celtic stuff. I mean, I'm a new kid in the block, but I'd like to
you keep saying this. That's absolute nonsense.
So I'd like to prize you for a wee bit of cash and carry to break your hearts, if you don't mind. The fact that hopefully that the Liverpool single, the Merseyside single, He Ain't Heavy's my brother's number one. I'd like to give you, on the strength of the Parkhead Pies and the Mellow Birds, the Parkhead top 3 singles for this Christmas should be, in the strength of your pies. Foreigner, You're As Cold As Ice. Kiki D and Elton John, Don't Go Break My Teeth. And the 101 Dalmatians classic by Paella de Vile. But the only other thing is,
Jesus.
The only other thing is that I'd like to congratulate Celtic for having the 150 East End school beans and for the disco. My parrot cash and carry rumours told me that they wanted to have the Pied Piper pantomime, but because we're franchised into David Pies out at Parkhead, it had to be a disco for the mains, and that's all you've got. And I'll shut up.
Brilliant, man. We should have brought that in a lot earlier. Joe, have we been to you yet?
No, I haven't.
Just before I do, right, because I'm going to forget, I got a tweet there for Chuck, and he just says, lads, can you please pay tribute to George Hazlitt, who died on Friday? He played for both Glasgow and Belfast Celtic in the 1940s. So there you go, rest in peace, George. Joe?
Favourite Christmas memory? Probably 3rd of January 1999. That was 2-2 draw at Ibrox. But it was kind of the second game Moravchik had played against Rangers, the first one being the 5-1 game. And I just remember that night sort of thinking, this guy's a special player, because he hit the crossbar, and then Larson headed in the rebound. But I think it made it 2-1, or maybe it made it 2-2, I can't remember. But that night, a friend of ours, he's kind of one of those friends, kind of sort of on the outside of your circle of friends. This guy's very, very rich now, with a record label in Belfast, and he lived in a really rich part of Belfast. So he brought us over to his house. We were all these Comanches. I was probably like 19, and he had this massive one of the first massive flat screen TVs. And his dad had a big cupboard full of liquor. So we were all about 19, and we got liquored up on all his rich whiskey. And sat down and watched the game. And ended up just going out in the rip that day. Even though it was a draw, but it was good. I remember, but I just think Moravchik was a special player. Favorite memory this year? Jesus. Probably going over to Glasgow for the book launch. That was great fun. Just kind of. I know, not the game, like just the experience of going over. You know what I mean? It's the experience.
Well, it's not sitting in the hunting lodge with me, Blotto.
Actually, no, you're right. Actually, it is. I forgot about that.
Chuck was there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Fell with Chuck.
Scratch that then.
He's there?
Yeah.
We lost you for like 10 seconds there.
Alright, anyway, so the highlight of the year, for me, highlights of the year, book launch and going to the Hunt Lodge, not the Hunt Lodge, going to the Roddies with Jason in the harbour and the McVeigh twins and Sam and John himself.
It's not really a highlight when somebody's got to tell you that it was your highlight, was it?
I know. Was your highlight no persuading Harper to come to my bit for Sunday dinner?
That was never going to happen.
That was never going to happen. I'm afraid
I was all set for it. I am that person. I'm that guy. Show up, I'll play with your kids. I'll be dead on. But in Harper, no, not a chance.
No.
No way.
Could I came here, I'd have made you Sunday roast, plied yous with bevy, everything perfect, and big freak boss there couldn't do it.
No. I just had to. I wasn't even wanting to go for a drink, but then once I went for the drink, I could end up drinking Joe's as well. Like, so there you go.
Did I say that drinking man as well? I couldn't handle it. I had to go and spew in the fireplace a couple of times.
So listen, I think we're about ready to wrap up, are we?
I think so, aye.
So I'll just do a wee bit about this competition, will
Aye, go for it.
So, as we touched on earlier, you were listening earlier with Chris from the Lost Boys. We've had a couple of successful raffles. We also did one. We done one, Joe, if you remember, for the Seamus Cummins Fire Relief Fund and the Good Child Foundation. We did a raffle for that as well.
That was the first one they did, wasn't it?
That was the first one we did. So we've raised a few, Bob. We had a signed Seville jersey for that one, wasn't it? And we actually got that drawn. The lovely Laura for Celtic TV drew the name of the hat at the Viva Stadium for us at that Dublin Super Cup competition. And then last year we had the big raffle with all the John Hartson signed merchandise and loads of different bits and bobs, signed stuff for different people, and books and DVDs and all that kind of stuff. And there was a guy, much to broke my heart, I had to post it all the way to Australia. So that cost me a few bob to do that. So anyway, we're stretching the raffle this year, right? The crack is there's going to be 100 tickets only at £10 sterling each, right? Now, I've got a quick rundown of the prize here, right? There'll be a couple of runners-up prizes. But the main prize, as we touched on earlier, is to take part in the Football Aid game at Celtic Park next, probably sometime in May. The dates and times to be confirmed, because it all goes by when Celtic's last game of the season is, because they're not going to have us numpties run about the pitch. Well, there's still games we play, so it's normally a week, probably the week after the Scottish Cup final. Will be when it takes place. But I'm also speaking to the guy at Football Aid. If you're say you're in America, you're in Australia, and maybe you will win it, you will want to come across and play in the game. But if not, you'll be able to we'll be able to get the name changed on the jersey. You'll be able to donate that to somebody. You'll be able to gift that to a friend or whatever you want to do. But you'll be able to give it away if you can't take part in the game yourself, right?
Well, that's a good point, Harper, as well, because most of our listeners that live in the States, live in Australia, live in Canada, whatever, they will have family back here.
Of course.
So what a great present that must be to say to your family back here, they go to follow the hoops, there you go, they're a present to you, man.
Right. So whoever it is will play 45 minutes. You'll not play the full game, you'll be designated for 45 minutes, whether it be the first half or the second half. As Chris explains, you get welcomed in the front door, you get treated like you're a real player, whether you're in the home or the away dressing room, it just depends what we get you set up with. You get your kit with your name on the back, so that's another thing, you have to inform us what name you want on the back of the jersey if you are gifting it to somebody else. So you got the full match day experience, as Chris says. You go down the tunnel, they have the Never Walk Alone playing and crowd noise and all that through the speakers when you come to the tunnel, just to give you the full experience. And you can bring us something like 20 people can come in for a £5 each to come and sit in the main stand as well, and they'll be able to go and get their pictures in the dugout and all that kind of stuff. And there'll be a couple of legends playing. Tom Boyd and George McCluskey played it last year, and John Kennedy managed the two teams. So that's the main part of the prize, right? So then there's also a good friend of mine in America, John Crawford, is an absolute fantastic artist. He's donated me a number of prints. Now I'll tweet pictures of these, and I'm also going to put a wee article together for the website so people will be able to see all this in better detail. But he sent me some unbelievable prints. Now these are limited edition. There's only 500 made each one. So I've got 2 large, and when I say large, I mean large, Neil Lennon prints. They're colour prints that were done by pencil. They're prints of the original, of course. There's only 500 made. I've got 2 big massive ones of Neil Lennon, so one of them will go in with the main prize. I've also got 2 Billy McNeil A4 size, one of them will go in with the main prize. I've got a large Larson print and a Billy McNeil A4 will go in for a runner-up. I've got a large Nakamura print and a Billy McNeil that will go in for a 3rd runner-up, and I've got a Roy Keane print that will go in for a 4th runner-up. Right? We've also got a John Higgins signed snooker cue. Right? Danny O'Connor, who was just on, is going to send us a pair of signed gloves for himself. So you're going to get a pair of gloves for a guy who's just about to become world champion. Right? I've got a Celtic Graves 125th anniversary mass programme, which are pretty hard to come by. We've got the Celtic Goals DVDs, 6 set of goals, 1981 to 2002. We've got signed books for Paul, By Any Means Necessary, Albert Dougie and Wim. We've got a book for KK, From Seville to Sevilla. We've got a Jinky DVD. We've got Lisbon Lions replica medal. I've got a Drogheda United, Fabio O'Brien signed match-worn jersey, signed with the entire Drogheda United squad. As I said before, you don't know how many of these young lads have maybe got in. A couple of these guys could end up at Celtic one day because they've got some real gems in there. A Hail Hail Media T-shirt, and probably Jason, probably the number one thing in here is a Mets Boys mug. so there you go.
And while we're on the subject of Mets Boys, text Nicky Boy to try and phone in Nick Laviglia, but he's in the car park in the Jets game, so he can't phone in. So he just says, tell everybody a big hail hail and Merry Christmas and let's go Mets.
Good stuff. So the crack with this is, right, now last year these tickets went within about 3 days of us doing the podcast, right? So what the crack is, you email Homeboy, you need PayPal to pay for the ticket for a start, right? Email Homeboys, you can buy as many tickets if you want. They're 10 or each sterling. Email Homeboys, tell me how many tickets you want. I'll email you back with the payment details. Once 100 tickets are away, we're gone. There will not be 105, there will not be 110, there will be 100 tickets, it'll raise $1,000, all that money will go straight to Football Aid. As we say, one of the main recipients is Diabetes Scotland, which Danny McGrain's is a patron of Football Aid for stuff like that. So that's where the money's gone, right? So you need to email me, 100 tickets, once they're gone, they're gone. And I think you'll agree. Oh, that's another thing. Everybody who buys a ticket will receive Playing for the Lost Boys books 1, 2 and 3 in PDF format, which is worth something like 25 quid or something like that alone. So you're getting double your money just for entering. All 100 tickets will get those 3 books emailed to them as PDF. So you're on a winner straight away, right? But once the 100 tickets are gone, they're gone. Now, also, anybody for the Hail Hail Media Network can buy tickets. The boys here, Homeboys, you can buy tickets, right? Because that main prize is something that everybody will want to take. Everybody wants to win that, right? So it'll be done totally fair. There'll be no accusations if, say, Joe's name gets pulled out to win it, right? What I'm going to do is, once we organise the night to draw it, right, I'm going to make sure it's done so it's live on YouTube, right? The people's names will be there on the website, 1 to 100 against the numbers. And then we'll drop the numbers in the hat live on YouTube, 1 to 100, and we'll get that number pulled out, and then the runner-up prizes pulled out. It'll be done totally above board, and everybody will be able to see it done live. So there'll be no accusations that it could be cheating or we gave it to somebody or anything like that. So that's just so everybody can enter it. I don't know what some of the boys, maybe the temporary stand, might be saying, look, I'd like to win that prize to play at Celtic Park. Well, they'll have the chance. Anybody can enter this. I don't think, we're all Celtic fans, we're not going to cheat anybody here. I mean, we just want to raise some money for charity, and I think we've got a pretty good price. So
can I just add something there? Can I just buy them all? Because see the prizes up over. If you hawk them on eBay plus they're playing, it's worth a hell of a lot more than $1,000.
Well,
you better believe it.
Jason, if you want to hand me $1,000 right after the show, that's it. You're in.
But you know, it's at the end of the day, before I get a bargain for a tenner, the chance we've got to win, you know. And plus, there's you mentioned 6 or 7 prizes there, and plus they're going to get the PDFs for the books. I mean, it's worth a hell of a lot more than the bloody $1,000.
Aye, and we'll probably Listen, we could even
You
add.
actually make 150 tickets.
We could I'm keeping it 100 because I want people. I want people to feel that I've got a good chance of winning that. Do you know what I mean? 100 to 1. 100 to 1. I want people to feel like I've got a good chance of winning that. 100 to 1.
Okay.
So.
Just go and get Campbell Ogilvy to draw it out, mate. Have you probably got
We'll sort that out further down the line. How we'll draw it, but we'll definitely do it so it's on YouTube and can be watched live, and then people will be able to watch the replays on YouTube and all that. So it'll be all done above board, so there can be no accusations.
Watch replays of the draw and things like that. It's got to be something.
So anyway, the email is homeboys@gmail.com. HOMEBHOYS@gmail.com. Your name, how many tickets, and I'll email you back with the payment details. It'll be via PayPal. When you buy your ticket, you have to pay in sterling, and you have to pay the PayPal fee at your end. I think you just do it as a gift is the easiest way. But I'll sort all that out in the email. But there you go. And we'll probably listen. We could get another 2 or 3 prizes added into that yet. But as I say, once the 100 tickets are gone, they're gone. Okay, boys.
David, do you want a blog for this Wednesday?
Huh?
You want a blog for this Wednesday, or are you having a week off?
It's up to you, boys. It's whatever you want. There's no pressure. Okay.
Parrot, we want a blog for you every day if you can be bothered writing one. Because I love reading them.
It's a cash and carry one this week. I'm not fretting. I didn't know if obviously I always tweet Dave. I'm always grateful Davey sorts out. I just email it, put a picture in, and Davey pimps it up for us. So I don't know if you were doing stuff with your family, mate. I didn't want to intrude. That was all.
No. I'll just be here, man. So just send whatever you want. We'll get it sorted out. I just got a tweet there for BJ Mac wanting 2 tickets. Listen, BJ, homeboys@gmail.com is the only way to secure tickets because I can't be people Facebook me or text me or tweeting me, right?
I've just said to you on live on air I want a ticket. He just sends me back a WhatsApp. Get it to the email address. You know, I can't even get one. So BJ Mac, square your act up.
Alright, homeboys@gmail.com. So it's on the one place then, and I can keep a record. And it's too much to follow with different things with Twitter and that, and as well the holidays I'll be drunk a lot and stuff like that. So,
but is BJ Mac not want to phone in? Is he not get the balls to phone in? Look, Shamrock, they've not been represented here.
I thought Richard was going to call in, but listen, to be honest, man, I've got to kind of wrap up anyway.
Okay.
Any final thoughts you want to add in, lads? Paul?
No, just thank everybody for the HomeBhoys. It's been a great experience again this year. Thank everybody for buying my books, and look forward to bigger and better next year.
Excellent. Joe?
Just want to thank everybody that listens, everybody that supported the network and the podcast, everybody that's got involved. And, I'm still constantly astounded by how things have taken off, and it's just a pleasure and an honour to be involved in something like this. And I don't know, it blows me away all the time. And fair play to everybody, and good luck for the new year. And here we go. Let's go to Wembley.
Nice one, Stephen.
No, just really, really honoured to have any part. The guys doing blogs are coming on here and subjecting me to my shite part. So thanks very much. Hope you all have a nice Christmas and New Year. Hopefully see you all soon.
Jason?
Gora Euskadi.
Okay, man. I'll just finish up by saying, hope you all have a very Merry Christmas, a safe New Year, and looking forward to the game on Boxing Day. I'm actually might be meeting Richie for the temporary stand. Joe's maybe going to come through, and we'll maybe record a wee podcast in Sarsfields with some of the lunatics that drink in there. That's it, really. See you all in the New Year.
Oh, here. By the way, you mentioned that there's a chance Dermot might be in tow that night, so.
Jesus.
That'd be an interesting podcast, man.
Brilliant, man. Wait, no, I've just got a big message. I don't know if I want to read this. Is this for St. Sixtus? Is it? I can't see in the message board who that is. It says, as nothing more than listener, can I thank all of the guys who do the Hail Hail Media podcast. I don't think any of you realise how much a difference you make to those of us thousands of miles away who don't have the opportunity anymore to pop down at the pub and either gloat or moan about what our club are doing. Despite all the fantastic football and events that we have been treated to this year, my own personal best memory of 2012 is KK's Tony Watt commentary. it makes me smile every time. Despite loving where I live, it reminds me of how much there are some things that even possibly one of the best sporting nations in the world cannot replicate, and that's the passion of the Celtic fans. Look forward to hearing you go stronger in 2013, and God willing, meet you all in London. Brilliant. That's for Pat Connor. That's brilliant. So, just leave it on that, guys, eh? I'll play out with the Christmas song again. As I say, the raffle the raffle competition, I'll put that up on the website tomorrow with all the details, and I just hope there's some of the tickets left by then. But as I say, last time I'm saying it, email homeboys@gmail.com to be winning that big, massive prize. And I should say, I'll be there on the day, and Jason will probably be there as well. I don't know if Paul will make it across to that bit. So we'll be there, and we'll make a day and a night and all that kind of stuff. So there you go. Right.
Wait. Make a day what? What are you talking about?
The day, the game, the football aid game. Like, I'll be there. I'll be there playing. I know Jason's going to come and watch. And people can come in the stadium and watch that. So we'll make a wee homeboys day out of that as well, like day and night. So brilliant. Right. Cheers, guys. Talk to you all soon.
God bless.
Hello.
Christmas song. This is the Christmas song, right?
And the blue bit's their bit.
No, the blue bit's just me. I had to copy and paste that. Right? So, and feel free to join in, Paul.
So, join in the chorus.
Because we were rehearsing this before the show, right? And we got to the chorus and Harper just failed. He couldn't do the verse and the chorus. So I'd have to do the chorus, and he's going to join in once he gets his breath back halfway into the second line of the chorus, right? I wasn't planning on singing any of this, but turns out I have to. So you ready to go?
So you pay attention as well.
And plus, Harper doesn't know where to come in.
And if I lose it, you just have to sing it. And, you know what I mean? I'll join in when I can.
I'll sit back here because it's a bit loud. Jesus, ready? Right. I make sure I can see these lyrics. You
have to say the first word to bring them in, mate.
I know. Ready? So you all know this song.
Wait.
You having some Dutch courage?
I need to get some scrumpy away in my foot.
Jesus, the drama's killing us all.
I know. Sinatra doesn't have his phone.
Ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You know you never walk alone when you're away and you're at home. You know we'll be with you all over and over the place. We'll travel through the day and night just to see the green and white. Cause when you hear the lights blow, you know the famous Glasgow Celtics on the way. Well, I wish I could see Celtic every day. But when the band starts singing and the boys begin to play, I wish I could see Celtic every day. Hail, hail, keep faith, this Christmas. When the boys take to the park, the sunlight shines right through the dark, and we see the big black flags are up to me. And now the grey day comes up here, but they're frozen up with fear, because they know the boys are gonna swiftly blast them out the way. Well, I wish I could see Celtic every day. When the band starts singing and the boys begin to play, well, I wish I could see Celtic every day. Hail, hail, keep faith this Christmas. When I hear Hooper scores, and he just walks like to know. With a great big smile on everyone's face. So if he just knocks in one more, then Stops gets the apple, and we'll do a walk by Humble on our way to Lucky Double next day. Well, I wish I could see Celtic every day. When the band starts singing and the boys begin to play, oh, I wish I could see Celtic every day. Hail, hail, keep the faith, it's Christmas. Why don't you give your love to Celtic?
the show.
We love the HomeBhoys on the show. We love the HomeBhoys on the show. We love the HomeBhoys on the show.
Yeah! That's a winner.
That's live. No, I mean, that's live.
And so the lawsuits will be coming in pretty soon.
Roy Woods up, Tim.